Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
ThaBoxingVoice.com. All the guys want, I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
David Lemieux production
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring to the table?
Let's get this on. Let's do it. Where it's like this. Wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on. Bernard, everybody calm down.
Man, you know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I sacrificed a lot. ThaBoxingVoice.com to get to where I got to.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. Hashtag TBV Podcast. We are back. It is Sunday. Sunday is Crow Day. And, man, there's a lot of crow to be eaten. A lot of people pick knockout. Didn't believe that Joe Saunders would put on or be able to keep the power of Lemieux off of him. So we definitely have to recap Joe Saunders from the United Kingdom, the current WBO champion, defending his title, and then calling out Triple G, letting Triple G know that he is no longer overweight and out of shape and ready to throw down. Throwing down is not going to happen when it comes to Mayweather and McGregor. No, that did happen. I meant Manny Pacquiao, who tried to come in the back door and do a Mayweather-McGregor. And instead, McGregor is not going to take Manny Pacquiao up on that offer. Negotiations have not come to fruition, and he's just come out and said it's not happening. It's a no-no. I'm a bit sad. We'll see what the rest of the panel has to say about that. And Mikey Garcia is back on our top three topic boxes here. I don't even know why he's here. I guess Matt will fill you in. I don't know, something about not losing his title at 35, regardless of winning another one at 40, if he is able to dethrone Sergey Lipinets, because remember, he is going for his 4th world championship title. He beat Broner, so now he wants to beat Broner, or at least compete with Broner in terms of how many titles he's held in multiple divisions. And speaking of divisions, let's climb up to the big one. This never has happened here on the Boxing Voice in terms of our hot button topics. Anthony Joshua's never been on the bottom end of it. But Joshua Povetkin in the news. Povetkin gets a win over someone. It's probably Christine Hammer. Could be the brother sister of Christine Hammer, who should be fighting Clarissa Shields. Who knows? Who knows, really? The thing is, he's back. He's in the rankings, and it looks like he is the mandatory to Anthony Joshua, which, look, and I mean, this is just supposed to be me giving you what we're talking about at the moment, kind of quick synopsis, but it's so frustrating with this Anthony Joshua WBA mandatory bullshit. WBA, I'm already tired. He's hiding from me. They've told him I'm looking for him. Because why is it that the fucking only Rigondeaux or Anthony Joshua have mandatories on their, WBA super belt status? Because no one's knocking on Keith's door to make him a mandatory at the 147-pound division, and Jezreel Corrales, he didn't have to do no mandatory down at the 26 or 30-pound division. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But whatever. We got other headlines. I'll get into my co-hosts. I head on out to the Golden State, to the home of the Hipster Hunter, and see how he's doing.
David Lemieux production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock to a knockout. When the main thing is, I just hope the guy, I wish.
ThaBoxingVoice.com.
Yes, the hipsters here. Haters beware. And I know there's some haters out there. There's some people out there that have been telling me I need to eat some crow. So before I get to anything else, Ness, give me 2 servings of crow because Billy Joe Saunders was phenomenal.
2?
2. Give me 2.
Stuffed crow and
give me another one because I said I was gonna get knocked out. So all you Billy Joe Saunders fans, there you go. I mean, he put on a. Thank you, Ness.
Just in case.
Just in case, yeah. Give me that gunshot. I mean, I never believed in Billy Joe Saunders, to be honest.
Wow.
I never believed he was ever going to be at the top, and I thought he was just holding on to a belt. I was one of those people, and he proved me absolutely 110% wrong last night. And I know that's you don't hear me say, "Hey, I'm wrong" that often because I'm, conceited. But I was wrong. Billy Joe Saunders made me
a believer.
A believer. Made me look like a fool. I mean, he put on, a 12-0 performance. He won every single round, and he made every single round uncompetitive. I mean, that was just a masterclass. And obviously, we're going to delve more into that. But, Conor McGregor going back to MMA. Hold on. I got a soundbite for that one because, I mean, just thank the heavens. Thank you. Restoring order to the universe. Boxing goes over there. MMA goes over there. We all go about our day. I'm good about that. I'm happy. And Mikey Garcia, no matter winning or losing against Sergey Lipinets, will keep his belt in a lower weight division. Interesting, since we had a recent champion move up a couple weight classes and lose his belt in his former division due to a fight in a higher weight class. Just interesting, the dichotomy of those two situations. Can't wait to delve into that. And Povetkin being the mandatory, the WBA, very interesting. I don't know if it's really going to be enforced. I don't know really where to judge that. But again, it's just a synopsis and my quick takes on everything. Can't wait to delve more into chop it up with a almost full panel of the show. Shout out to Kaj Weezy for not being here on a 4-day shoot. He should be back with the team, I think, this coming week. So that should be good.
I need that soundbite. I heard it all before.
Oh, poor Kaj Weezy. But
now your lies ain't working now. Yo, listen. I know I rudely interrupted you, but it's like.
Well, first off, we have to go. You have to go do me, so it doesn't matter.
No, we're not going to do me. We're not going to do me.
Oh wow!
What is it? A PSA? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We want to reach 62,000 before the show is over. We're close enough. Let's do it. Let's form. I looked at Matt. Yo, anybody was my age? You seen that? It's like they form like Voltron, right? You know, remember that? See, Doomsday laugh.
Yeah, I know that.
Shit went straight over Matt. Straight over. Matt, you could do
no, Matt,
you was like watching. I don't know
Power Rangers
cartoons. He was watching when
he was watching Power Rangers.
No way, you watch Power Rangers, Matt? Where were you? The Green Ranger?
Power Rangers wasn't a cartoon. That was a live action TV.
Oh look,
you were into it. Look, he's even defending it. No, Power Rangers was live action. It's live action.
Secondly, we can definitely talk about this on TBV Overtime, which is a Patreon-only show. Go to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice, and we can definitely talk about what
little teaser right there. We do teasers like that. That's what we do. Yeah. We do things like that.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one to stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Nippy. There's no like I'm from their court. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. Get up!
Yes, Alex Doomsday Lainez, and he's got a list, people. All you guys that said Lemieux was going to knock out Billy Joe, I got you on the list. We got you on the list. And I can't wait to read these names out because everybody followed in Matt's lead. Most of you guys. There was a couple of guys that actually, believed in Billy Joe's boxing skill. Ness, I think you were one of them, right?
Oh yeah. Because I'm Adelaide Bird. That's what I'm trying to tell people about these scorecards. It's like, no, they gave her the bag of money. Is no, I score for a certain style of fighter, and Billy falls right into my liking. Like he's the type of fighter I like,
And let me tell you guys something. When I first heard about this Manny Pacquiao McGregor fight, it just I didn't believe that it was going to happen. And for a moment there, I'm like, I was questioning McGregor because look, let's just get this straight. Manny Pacquiao's a legend, and he's a legend in the sport. But how relevant is he at this point in time going forward in the sport of boxing, especially for a guy like McGregor? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if that's a great victory. You know what I'm saying? These guys are getting older. They're getting slower. And I just don't know how much more glorious this fight would be if it would have happened a little earlier or a few years back. But now it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't gain my interest that much. And what the hell is going on? This is the most unique sport. Me and Maddie were talking about this off air. It's like, this is the only sport. You got a guy who got busted for peds, and now he's getting this super great fight. I don't get it. But he's a mandatory now, Ness. Is that what we're doing, Matt? He's a mandatory now?
Yes.
He is a mandatory.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. So, a guy that was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder is now fighting Anthony Joshua. So, can't wait to get it in.
Well, I mean, look. We'll get to that. I was gonna, you said that, and right away I wanted to get into conversation. But you know what? Let's go down the order and let's try as a team not to forget that there was a whole lot of other fights. We got to talk about PBC fights. Jesse Vargas is back. Wale Omatoso, all those guys. We got to give them just their due, time to at least recap the results of what took place.
We did do other shows yesterday about Jesse Vargas and what his options are. So go check that out as well if you want maybe a more complete breakdown of that card specifically. Or that
we actually did a few reports as well. We reported on Tyson Fury. I thought that was where you were going to jump in and say exactly what it was about, man.
I thought I'm sorry. You gave me no clue.
Perfect duet. Like, we've been a group. And then, DJ Doomsday could have finished it at the end like, chicka, chicka, yeah. You know what I mean? But,
I'm not even going to respond to that.
HBO, right? So, I'm actually watching the wrong telecast. I thought I was playing back HBO. I don't know, but I'm watching PBC as I speak to you guys. But, Billy Joe did good, but before we get to Joe, we got to get to Antoine Douglas because it would look bad of me after telling you to watch Douglas versus Gary Spike O'Sullivan and then watching Gary Spike O'Sullivan dismantle poor Antoine Action Douglas. I guess it would be wrong not to bring it up and let you know that that's what took place. From the opening bell, Roy was spot on in saying that, he nor I enjoyed the way Douglas was absorbing so many shots from Gary O'Sullivan. And let's be honest, man. Gary got the win. He moves forward. This is big for him. It was a big knockout on HBO undercard.
I like Gary.
But he's too wide. And whenever Antoine bit down and let's say did a 3-punch combination, it landed better, it had effect, but he just seems to be punchy already. Like he's not moving out the way of the shots. And I
wonder what the game plan was.
Movement. It seems like there was no game plan. It was just like you hit me or I hit you. Let's see who hits harder.
And that's what Roy kept mentioning. It was just something like a sparring match, kind of like a reaction thing. There wasn't nothing that was planned, in my opinion, for a kid that is a well versed amateur going into the pros. I don't know if you guys caught the fight Ulysses versus.
We're not going that first. We're not going there yet. Hold on.
No. We're not going there. I'm using that as an example. Ulysses really boxed.
Yes,
and was able to outclass a really, really good puncher, and I didn't see that happen with Antoine, and I'm pretty sure that he could have. I just don't know what was the game plan in that corner for that night.
I think again we're talking about game plan. When I was listening to the corner audio in between rounds, the corner was never telling him about a game plan. It was always very individual tactics. Hey, throw this combination. Hey, do this one thing. There was never this grand overall scheme. They were talking about, hey, we want to work him along the ropes. We want to work the outside foot placement. There's nothing that was being discussed. Nothing.
Hey, you ready to have your mind blown?
What happy?
People ain't gonna peep this because Shakur Stevenson is polarizing, and when you think of his trainer, you automatically think of his grandfather. What's his name? You actually been trained by his grandfather.
Walil Moses.
Okay. But there's another guy that stepped in once he started to have these promising Olympic, dreams. I believe it was you and I, Doomsday, right? When we went to see Lomachenko in the harbor.
Yeah.
And bumped into Shakur. Remember the gentleman that was next to Shakur? Looked young.
Yes.
Fitted cap. He was the trainer last night as well. He's been the trainer for Antoine Douglas on the comeback for the 4 fights that he's had off TV.
The backward black hat, right?
Yes, and it's funny to hear Matt say that he heard no instruction from the corner because, voila, this is who's playing head. Even though the grandfather takes credit, for starting him, this is who's playing head coach for Shakur. So we have to stick around and not really stick around. We're obviously going to stick around, but we have to at least keep a watch out and see what's going to happen. Obviously, with Shakur, it's different because the level of skill, but Antoine Douglas and Shakur, because they're trained by the same person. And remember, Shakur lives in that area. He's from Newark, but he relocated. He's trains out there with this man over there. It's just, whoa, you know what I mean? And let's be honest, the trainer could only tell you what to do. You have to actually do it, Matt. And everybody wanted Antoine to move. He wasn't moving.
True, but again, talking about game plan.
I mean,
I never heard any overall strategy being discussed in the corner. And maybe you guys can correct me on that. Doomy, you're muted. I didn't see that.
Thanks, man.
I heard individual tactics, individual combinations to be thrown.
No, Matt, you're right, because look, even if something's not, you start off a fight a certain way. You can make adjustments in a fight. I didn't see an adjustment being made. I feel like they slept on Gary.
They didn't sleep on him. The adjustment was
they must have not
go harder.
They must have not counted on. I feel like they didn't count on his durability. They probably were like, oh, this guy doesn't have too much of a amateur pass. Something's got to give for them not having a strict game plan. I mean, this guy's a puncher. Gary O'Sullivan's a puncher, bro. I mean,
I wouldn't call him a puncher.
He's a good body puncher, bro.
Douglas took a lot of those shots, and that's the thing. You never want to see a guy take so many flush shots. You want to see him roll with him. You want to see him, use the guard, something. It didn't happen. Listen, shout out to Gary Spike O'Sullivan. I have to mention that on the telecast, they kept repeating that Billy Joe Saunders and Spike O'Sullivan may rematch if both were able to win last night. Both were able to win. Obviously, Saunders wants bigger and better things, but we've seen Saunders do domestic level fights before when he can't get his way. And, there's a storyline, especially now with Spike O'Sullivan, knocking out an American in Canada. So the main event with Billy Joe Saunders, which is another thing. He fucking sparred with Billy Joe. So iron sharpens iron, just saying, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool. Billy Joe brought him in for sparring, and ever since the first fight, he's been using him, used him for this fight for Lemieux, and Gary Sullivan gets the win, and so does Billy Joe. Billy Joe impressed me, and I won't be long-winded. The jab, gentlemen. The jab, I questioned during the live fight chat whether or not he was a natural, what do you call it? Natural right-hander, because his jab from the southpaw stance is such a strong, authoritative jab. And he mixes it up. That's what the beautiful part about it. Sometimes it's really, fast and he could double it. Sometimes he steps back. When Lemieux was trying to come in, he'll step back and counter with the right hand. And it's not really a jab at that point because it was hitting Lemieux with some steam. And, we think, oh, this guy only got 12 knockouts, but Lemieux never once tried to bowl him over, even though he always kept coming forward. That jab was there to pepper him all night. And that was one of the many things that impressed me. But what about you guys?
I mean, other than the jab, which obviously was a key part of this fight, the footwork. The footwork was impeccable. This was, for anyone that, Terrence Crawford or Lomachenko's footwork or any of these other guys that are known for the footwork, Billy Joe Saunders now needs to be mentioned with those guys. Maybe not be above them or ranked as them, but mentioned with them. He needs to be in that discussion at least. Because that was, like I said, a masterclass. Like, he was dancing around him. He was styling on him. I think it was round 6 when he made Lemieux miss that right hand, and he looked into the crowd like, oh, where did it go? Like it was a home run at a baseball game, he made Lemieux look like such a rank amateur that it instantly made Billy Joe Saunders, in my opinion, now should be potentially be considered a favorite over some of these top middleweights, like a Daniel Jacobs, like a Triple G, like a Canelo. I can now see Billy Joe Saunders winning those 3 fights. Before last night, I didn't see that. So I have to give that. I mean that.
Well, go back to the tape, Matt. Many shows where I told you that Billy Joe's could probably outbox, Gennady.
Yeah,
yesterday proved that.
I always counted him out, and I will admit.
Here's the thing, though. Yesterday proved it, right? But I still rather.
How much did it prove, though? How much?
Whoa, what do you mean? How much did it prove?
Lemieux's
a top 5 middleweight.
Yeah, but it's not like Lemieux's been fighting. The last 4 fights he had his wins, but they weren't against like super top guys.
But his resume, he's been in there with decent level names. I mean, we could pick apart anyone's resume, but he's been in there with decent level opposition. He's got wins over Rosado. He's got wins over Hassan N'Dam. He's got a spectacular knockout win over Curtis Stevens. Those are solid wins. I mean, they're better wins than most other 160-pounders not named Gennady Golovkin, Daniel Jacobs. Billy Joe Saunders also has a good resume now with Willie Monroe Jr., Andy Lee.
What happens with
Jr.?
Chris,
he's knocking out the juniors. He's knocking out the juniors. Well, he's not knocking them out, but he's taking them out. He's taking them out, the juniors. Or would he make him one? Dun, dun, dun.
What is he gonna do when he boxes a boxer? He could probably do well with guys like that. I mean, but you know what? Gennady cuts the ring off a lot better.
Yo, bro, he boxed the boxer. He boxed Willie Monroe Jr. He boxed Willie Monroe Jr. and he outboxed him.
And Chris Eubank Jr. isn't a good boxer.
Well, I wouldn't say a boxer, but he's definitely a high output boxer.
Willie Joe's a better boxer. Yeah.
Better technical. Yeah.
Technical boxer. Yeah.
But Chris Eubank Jr. is a boxer.
Man, he's technically sound. He looked good last night, and especially that version of. Very quickly,
to Doomy's point about how he does against a boxer. I mean, Triple G was outboxed by Canelo, and we all thought Canelo had slow feet. So if Canelo can dance around Triple G,
yeah, but Saunders does better.
Saunders is going to do so much better than Canelo.
Exactly, because Canelo took time off. He gave Triple G what he wanted. He waited for him on the ropes. He edged him in. Saunders is going to turn. Man, did you see how he was turning then?
Saunders is big. He is light on feet. He can hit hard. He has great boxing ability. He's going to down some of these middleweights. He might.
I like the way he was switching too. He was switching his styles at times.
Yeah, he did go to orthodox a few times, and he could punch off his toes. He doesn't have to be set. Where Lemieux needed to be set. That's why he was getting caught. I mean, Lemieux looked really bad. Like
he looked green, bro. He was looking green out there. Yes,
I was gonna say like an amateur, and it was the same thing, green. Like, but not because he is an amateur, not because he's a bum, just because that was the level.
That's how good Saunders was. That's how good Saunders
was. And the reason, well, I already said the reason. I won't reiterate that. His footwork and his ability not to be stationary the way Canelo was would make him, I think, do a better job. I guess the call out. I mean, for Triple G, he made too much money, especially if any one of the 2 rumors of pay-per-view sales for Canelo Triple G are true. He made too much money not to wait again for Canelo. So the call out of Billy Joe, wow, it means something now because this performance was impressive, so we can believe that he really wants to fight. It's too late. He's gonna have to wait.
The right guy got to win the fight for Canelo Triple G not to happen next.
Exactly.
You're
absolutely right.
Fight for the rematch to happen next. The rematch is now going to happen. I almost guarantee it because Billy Joe won this fight.
Well, I mean,
they're not going to give it to Jacobs. I mean,
I get the narrative. I do get it. That if it would have been Lemieux, it would be in-house with Golden Boy. Easier to say, hey, we're going to wait, for Gennady to get a couple of months older while we make this big check. But, think about it. I mean, it's Frank Warren. It's not Bob. It's not, Heyman. It's Frank Warren. Maybe they can still do it. But the thing is, do they still want it? And I know at one time they wanted a Billy Joe fight. But after seeing this shit, does Canelo want this?
Matter. I think, again, if like you said, from Canelo, so I thought talking about Triple G's side. Canelo doesn't want Saunders. No.
I mean, listen.
Triple G you can outbox if you're Canelo. You're thinking that I can outbox Triple G.
The older guy.
Wait, why wouldn't Canelo want Billy Joe Saunders though? Like,
I mean, isn't it a tougher fight at this point?
But what against who else? Like,
I mean, look, if you're Canelo, you're 20, what? 24, 26?
He's like 27, 26.
yeah.
All right, you're in your fucking early 20s. Do you go for the 36, 37-year-old dude that you've already been in the ring with and now you know you can do better, you feel confident, or do you go in with a guy who just put on a 12-0 shutout versus a big puncher?
I mean, he has options.
Okay, so defend that. What options do you have?
All right. He's not I don't see Canelo as being a boxer that's, you know, fearful in any case, and even getting in there with another boxer. He can box. But I can tell you what, Canelo actually punches harder than Saunders, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So what presents more danger? I think that Triple G still presents more danger. Man, you know,
I don't know. I think that the danger of Triple G's power versus the danger of not being ever to catch up with Billy Joe Saunders for 12 rounds is.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Look how bad the taste Lemieux left in our mouth is. Imagine Canelo can't catch up to Saunders and looks like that.
But Saunders is not going to treat Canelo like he would treat a Triple G. See, he's not going to be fearful like the power that Triple G presents. See, Triple G presents that crazy threat, you know, that X factor. Oh, if he hits you, you're done. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Canelo can't knock you out, but Saunders, I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to speak for him because I can't, but who's perceiving a Canelo like that going into a fight with Saunders? That he's going to be the one pressuring the fight the whole time.
Just like it's Laura. It's the Laura fight all over again.
Well, it's the style. It's not about pressure. Why would Billy Joe come forward on Canelo when he's the one that doesn't punch as hard? Canelo has knockout power.
But Billy Joe's going to be the bigger.
Billy also has the reach. Billy's also the taller guy and the
bigger guy.
And he's a boxer, though. Why would he change his style today to fight Canelo? That don't make sense.
His game plan is the exact same for every fight.
Exactly, and that's box on your toes, pump the jab. Yo, he was killing Lemieux. Listen, so really quick, what do you guys want next for Billy?
What I want or what I think is realistic?
I love realistic, man. I live in the reality. I don't want to fantasize. I hate fucking pound for pound shows and fantasy shows.
Daniel Jacobs is realistic. Daniel Jacobs has gone on social media and called him out. That's in HBO. That's an in-house network fight. I know Eddie Hearn has already made quotes about it. He said the money is not right now, but I think that can be changed. I think that's realistic. If not that, then it's probably going to be more of a domestic fight, come back to the UK and have a fight there with like Sergey Lipinets.
I say, you know, take an easy fight for Gary. No, not an easy fight, excuse me. But take the domestic. That's what you guys are calling it. I never heard that.
Domestic with Gary, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's domestic because they're both from the UK, and that's
okay.
Happened over there. Domestic.
I'd say take that, and you know,
but who's gonna watch that? It's gonna be on Box Nation, bro. You ain't even gonna get to see. You're gonna have to get a link of it.
I'm gonna have to need one of those. Yeah, you're right. But what I'm saying is more like in the lines of like, let's say he takes that fight. You know, May 5th is around the corner with Canelo and Triple G. You know, and maybe the winner. You know, he could be, you know, he could.
Let me tell you why not, right? Because HBO's giving 160 pounders, they're giving them television time and obviously 6-7 figure paydays. So if you're Billy Joe coming off a high performance on HBO, you want to make sure all your fights are with HBO and Box Nation. You know, this way domestically you get viewed, but also internationally. And in order to do that, you got to fight HBO's roster. Who's their roster? Jacobs. Andrade, who was in the crowd, which we haven't mentioned. Demetrius Andrade, who just defeated Lainez Fox, was in the crowd. It would be two southpaws versus each other if Billy Joe and Andrade went at it. Also on the HBO roster at the 160-pound division. Help me, fellas. They just signed someone else. Come on.
HBO fighters.
At the middleweight division?
Yes.
I mean, obviously they signed Jacobs. That was the big acquisition.
Jacobs, Andrade, Canelo, Triple G.
Is Lewis part of it? No.
Who else? I mean, they were probably going to invest in a fucking Douglas, and he got starched. That's rude. He had a setback.
I mean, Rayoto Moreira's on ESPN, so that doesn't count.
Someone else, man. This is not a little, maybe prospect contender almost.
I go to box right here. Your favorite thing.
My Bible, my boxing Bible. Call it what it is, bro. BoxRec just struck a deal with the WBC. So now on the WBC rankings, you can hover over the fighter's name and automatically see their BoxRec and be sent straight to that page if you wanted to go there. You know, listen, you guys, I don't even know why you try to shame people for using a website.
Relax there, Mr. Triggered Face. It's okay.
You're not the first to say something like that. It just seems silly to me. That's like telling a kid,
rude.
Book report is like, oh, don't read that
book. BoxRec. What did I say that was rude? Come on, Matt. What did I say that was bad?
Yo, Matt.
What did I say?
Reading, don't learn anything.
What did I say?
Okay, you shame.
Just know this: everything you know came from somewhere else.
Yo, do me, Mr. Zen Master. Over here. All I said,
everything you know came from somebody else, bro. It's everything you know.
Wait till
I get my soundboard.
So come on, let's keep going down the fights. All right, we did Billy Joe. We did my man right here.
we gotta talk about the other man, Cletus Seldin, the Hebrew Hammer.
Oh, damn. The only reason I want to talk about him is because I was in the Mercedes car dealer the other day. This is another taste of overtime because it's semi overtime, but it's truly boxing. So I was in a Mercedes-Benz car dealer the other day with my best friend. You know, this guy's a fucking ball. He's got one of these big old trucks. I mean, obviously Doomsday and Matt know him, whatever. We're in there, and it turns out that the dealer salesman is a former fighter, amateur, New York City area, knows Jacobs, knows Jerry Cooney, the gentleman heavyweight or whatever that fought Larry Holmes. He knows a few fighters, so we get to talking, and he's sharp. He knows this stuff. You know, right away he talks Lomachenko, you know, and I'll just tell you, he was a white guy. He was a white guy. He said he wasn't Jewish because after he spoke of Lomachenko, he brought up Cletus. And I just said, fuck, man. This is that HBO propaganda. Because the first thing out of his mouth, Matt, was, hey, what do you think about that Cletus guy, man? He's a fun fighter, right? I said, what? Fucking fun fighter with his elbows out like he's fencing? Some bullshit. I could think of 12 people, which is a lie. I would need BoxRec. But I could think of at least 12 people who deserve that shine other than – and listen, I know I'm going to bump into Cletus. Man, yo, you mean as fuck. I listen to your show. How you going to say that was my shot? And you're right. It is your shot. And you had your opportunity and you let Ulysses take that from you. But that just gives me the ammunition to say I fucking told y'all. Because HBO does this left and fucking right. They just find fighters that they don't have to pay a lot for, put them on TV, give them 20, 30,000. Jim Lampley is wonderful at what he does, and you're familiar. When you're familiar, there's a reason. There's a reason that, you know, people advertise with podcasters or, you know, people like Jim Lampley get endorsed because you're familiar. Even athletes, there's a reason that they have shoe lines and shit endorsements because you're familiar with that person. So if that person says XYZ, you're more prone to believe it. And HBO serves you bullshit left and right. This kid went out there and got the brakes beat off of him. I mean, it was another Billy Joe Saunders. Spanky, spank, spank all night. All night.
Yeah,
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that because you know what? At least we ain't have to endure a long time because I'll tell you one thing. When Ruslan first jumped on the scene, I felt the same way. And maybe my first reaction to Ruslan and his style was the wrong one because he later proved to still provide exciting fights and he could beat some level of fighter. But it was upsetting to me to hear all the hype of Ruslan and then watch him lose to Herrera early in his career and everyone act like it never happened, but yet Danny gets a tight fight and he lost to Herrera. So it's like, yo, HBO is so powerful. Sometimes I wish all the boxers were on HBO because you're more, they do a better job glorifying them. I mean, that was my little rant on that. But
and just to come in and clean up a little bit, I agree. I think that when we think about HBO and HBO boxing, that's been the staple of boxing for the last 20, 30 years, I would say. And because that's the staple, that is the stewards of the sport in a way, it's HBO boxing. And then they put this guy on when they could put other guys on and give them the push. I understand why people are upset. I think that's kind of a joke and kind of bullshit.
Well, I mean, I don't know who the other guys are, but
because Cletus Seldin was not anywhere close to the top 15 of the division. And I think if you're on HBO, you should be in the top 15 of your division. Period.
I'll jump in before you go, Doomsday, just to give you the division. At the very top at 140, right? HBO could consider, but they won't want to invest. Understand why I call it propaganda. Because you see, you can get a Seldin at $25,000, $30,000, put him on HBO, and watch him grow for cheap, and then there's an upside to him. Or you can go in your fucking HBO budget. The last we heard was $28 million, and pay for Mikey Garcia, who's at 140. He's the number one at 140, right? Or one of them. Victor Postal, Julius Undango, Rancis Bartholomew, Adrian Broner. They've tried that, so I get it. They tried Broner before, allegedly, like a 6-fight deal. But at this point in Broner's career, maybe he'll come to his senses, okay? Maybe being on the HBO side of things is going to be better for him. Josh Cheller in the UK, but I'm sure that Eddie Hearn has that all, squared away. But anyway, I'm just naming names, and that's unfair because we're talking about who deserves more shine or the shine that Seldin received. So, Seldin fought Ulysses. So, 2-fight deal, right? That was a 2 fights. You could have given that to John Molina. He's been there before. He fought this weekend, improved. He can still bang, right? And at least he has the storyline, whereas Seldin is no one, and there's really no upside, and that was proven quickly. I don't know, Diaz, who you fed to the fucking Wolves, give him 2 fights. Felix Diaz, the Dominican former Olympian, that you put in there with Terrence Crawford to continue to build the stardom of Crawford. Well, now give him those 2 fights. Give him an opportunity versus Seldin or Ulysses to build his fucking brand back. But no. Because why? He's going to want money because he's already been under the cannon fire with Crawford and he wants to be paid for that. And you don't want to do that. You're better at spitting propaganda. You know what I'm saying? But there's fighters out there. There really are. And if you want to do prospects, it's probably better, right? I mean, I believe Zachary Ochoa, I don't know how much upside is in him because of that power issue, but Brooklyn native, Hispanic, up-and-comer at least, Regis Progras.
Regis Progras.
In the rough. That's someone you invest a 2-fight deal in and see what can pan out. You know what I mean? I don't know. Mario Barrios, even though I know that's tough because of Heyman, but still, maybe Heyman says, hell yeah, this is a young kid who otherwise wouldn't get this sort of attention. Fuck yeah, we'll sign him off to HBO and let you build him over there. He's got Virgil Hunter. HBO's used to Virgil already. It's even more storyline. This is what I'm saying. They don't use the money wisely. They'd rather fucking rob you and lie to you. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you.
And where's this guy from? The Jewish Hammer, Cletus. He's from New York, right?
State area. Yeah, he fights like in Huntington. Listen, again, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. But I just don't. The first time they aired him, it's like, oh, this big puncher is like, look, he didn't even stick around. And then they abandoned ship live on air. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this guy's got no skills. Look at how Ulysses outclassing him. And it's like, damn, just the last fight, you were telling me how great he was.
It's just, man, some of these guys that are forward fighters, just when they encounter these boxers, man, and movers, they can't cope.
I mean that.
Can't
Seldin
cope.
was a hype job. Seldin was absolutely 100% a manufactured hype job. Just like a Shawnee Monahan was at a time. Shawnee Monahan was a manufactured hype job to be put up there for a fight. Like we
just blew up in their face quicker than they expected. Sometimes they think these things are gonna go longer, bro. It's like, let me not say it because I know I'm gonna get hella shit for that one. Whatever. We'll move on. So, Doomy, thank you.
What a rank amateur.
What happened?
You left your mic hot, buddy. So, all right, this weekend, Lucky Boy Omatoso and Freddie Hernandez back in action. Both coming off of layoffs. Both, I believe, coming off of losses. I'm happy to see Lucky Boy. I know that not many know him. You know, he was one of my early interviews. You know, he was signed to Jason Fetter, maybe. I know he was like with a sure, Sean. We're gonna get to you in a second. Let's get to Sean here from
our Las Vegas West Coast correspondent.
Exactly. I had a brain fart right there. He covered a few fights this week too, right? Sean, what's going on, brother?
That's what's good, guys.
Nothing much. How are you doing?
Good to have you, brother. I know you're calling in. You made your pick on Billy Joe and Lemieux. You picked Lemieux by wide decision, right? No, you said close. You said close decision, right? Excuse me, not Lemieux. Excuse me.
No, I said Saunders would win the fight behind his southpaw jab. That's exactly what I said.
No, you said I've got Saunders.
My Facebook feed.
You said I've got Saunders by close decision behind his jab.
Yes.
But he was wide, so you were even more impressed.
I was. But still, yeah. But that is back-to-back weeks of Loma by TKO and now Saunders by decision.
Oh, are you challenging?
Yeah.
Are you challenging? Is this no, because I need to know, because if you're gonna be calling in every week, then we can all start, keeping tally. I don't want later on it's like, yo, see, that's my 10th straight, Ness, and it's like, what? 10th straight? Oh, I don't believe you, because and let's be honest, the Loma pick was easy, like
But didn't you pick Regundiao?
Yeah. But we all knew. I mean, because if you listen to the show, we all knew it. Anybody could hear it. Like every time I spoke about the fight, there were obvious disadvantages that, he was going up against. But like many and like you said,
right?
No. Like many and like you said, we were picking with emotion. I never denied that. I've always said that. We all, it was the Rocky thing, you want the guy to get the guy who we felt was always being, like a victim of circumstance. We wanted some justice. That's all. But I understood what Lomachenko was. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but just Billy. I was at the fights Friday night for Jesse Vargas. We were able, I was able to get a interview with Jesse in the locker room. For anybody that's interested in what's going on in Jesse after he won every second of every round, a 10-round decision. Showed what he's always shown, a really good jab, above average, good, solid speed. And he had put his guy down in the 6th round. And I asked him after the fight if he wanted to maybe fight Saddam Ali again at 154 pounds, but he didn't seem like he really wanted that fight. The fight he says that he wants is Keith Thurman more than any other fight, and that he would fight him next. But as for Jesse, I think he's still a contender in the welterweight division, but I don't think he beats Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, or Terrence Crawford. I would say there's a tier 1 where that would be Crawford, Spence, and Thurman, and then tier 2 would be Garcia, Porter, and then I'd put Jesse right there below Garcia and Porter as far as how the division's stacking up right now. So that's what's going on with Jesse. But if you wouldn't mind, I'd want to obviously move on to last night's main event, if that's all right.
Of course, buddy. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, I mean, I was listening for about the last half hour, and really you and Matt covered all bases beautifully. When you talk about Saunders' jab, obviously that's why I picked him to win the fight. And then when Matt touched on Saunders' movement, that's really something. It was not to go crazy with it, but it was a little bit reminiscent of what Lomachenko was doing to Regundiao about a week ago, in terms of just circling his guy and leaving his guy lost in the center of the ring at times. But for that movement, I don't think he really showed us he could move that well in fights before. You know, against Monroe, he had to be a little more aggressive, so we didn't see him move a whole lot. And then same thing with Andy Lee and then Chris Eubank. You know, these are his biggest fights. And I saw him a lot sloppier than he was last night in years past, and not quite in the same physical shape that he came in last night. He said coming into the fight he was more motivated, and it definitely looked like it. His body was more cut and in better shape, and his stamina looked better. He would get tired sometimes without doing the kind of moving he was doing last night. So I think he surprised everybody and showed he really is a top middleweight. You know, very awkward too, and underrated head movement and underrated speed, of course, out of the southpaw style. But as good as he looked last night, I still think he's an underdog against Triple G. I think he's not definitely. I think he's an underdog to Daniel Jacobs, and he's an underdog to Jermall Charlo. But he's a nightmare style matchup for Canelo Alvarez. So many things he does well gives Alvarez problems. He'll keep the jab in Alvarez's face all night. Alvarez has really slow feet when you're talking about having to go forward and cut the ring off. And I just think that cement in Alvarez's feet when he tries to plod forward would kill him with a guy like Saunders who can move around all night behind that dizzy jab. And like you guys already touched on earlier, Matt said, because of that, because De La Hoya, Eric Gomez, and Bernard Hopkins were ringside to see their guy Lemieux get schooled last night, they knew not to make Saunders versus Canelo for May. So I agree. We're going to get Canelo Triple G in May, and I think Canelo will win that fight. And I think Triple G falls in 2018, whether it's to Canelo or anybody else. But I think it will be Canelo in a rematch. But, yeah, I would love to see Saunders fight Danny Jacobs next. That's the fight I think that makes the most sense. If he's as confident as he seems to be, then I think he would put his belt and his reputation on the line against Jacobs in a big fight on HBO. That would clearly make the case for who's the number one guy that deserves a shot at the winner of Canelo Triple G. The question is, he's already lined up better than anybody else to get that fight because of the belt he has. So will he have the confidence and the balls to make the ballsy move and sign to fight Jacobs when he might not have to take that fight to get a fight with Canelo or Triple G?
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see, man. I want HBO to go ahead and invest in Jermall, take him over there, because then we'll have a little middleweight tournament. I mean, Jermall's gonna be the odd man out, and I'd like to see his counterpunching ability.
Well, Ness, you should go on Jermall's Twitter, because a couple of days ago he retweeted something I said, where I said, why is Jermall fighting on undercards in Brooklyn and not doing main events, co-main eventing with his brother in Texas and things like that? And he retweeted it and obviously agreed. And this guy needs to go to HBO, Jermall Charlo, because I remember you guys thought I was nuts for having him on my pound for pound. I think out of all these great fighters at middleweight, Jermall's actually the best. And I'm actually optimistic that a move to HBO is possible simply because there's no other way. There's no other significant fight. Andrade, Saunders, you guys know the names, Jacobs, Triple G, and Canelo are all on HBO. So I think we're going to get our wishes granted in 2018, and he will fight on HBO.
Maybe
the
not,
ideal
though.
lineup would be...
Maybe not, because, I mean, they have enough people, honestly, right? They have enough people, and Jermall, you know, let's be honest, it's with a guy. Well, they've already done business with Jacobs, so I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know. I just feel like another Heyman fighter is another big fee.
I hear you, but okay. So let's say you match Jacobs and Saunders, obviously Canelo and Golovkin. That leaves the guy they just signed, Demetrius Andrade, as the odd man out. I mean, I guess you could keep him fighting decent, solid fights in the interim while he waits to fight the winner of one of those fights. But I think HBO would, and I would love the idea of having Jacobs and Saunders fight and having Charlo fight Andrade. fight Andrade. So, you know, Andrade would be the odd man out. It's the odd number. He would be the odd man out of those two matchups of Jacobs and Saunders and Canelo Triple G. Charlo obviously wants to fight for titles, and his only way to there is HBO. And that's just the semantics of it, of why I think it'll happen. It has to happen. There's no other way. I mean, I guess Triple G, the Canelo Triple G winner could vacate the WBC, and PBC could have him fight for the vacant WBC. But essentially, I don't see any other way, even with all the horrible politics in boxing, that Charlo doesn't go to HBO for these big middleweight fights.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. Listen, Sean, as always, thank you. Any of those interviews that you did that stand out, or if you want to direct people to all of them, I mean, you might as well do so. Let them know your Instagram as well, buddy.
Yeah, Instagram @SeanTBV, and get me on Twitter now, guys, because I'm learning the Twitter game and really starting to chirp and just talk a lot on there, because I guess that's what's needed.
Chirp. That's a new.
So.
God, that was the white you could ever say that.
I thought about the bird instantly and shit.
I was old. I mean, Sean just said, I learned how to chirp, because it's Twitter. I love it, Sean.
Weed. Come on.
I love it. Yo, shout out to that Vegas. But listen, Sean, thank you for calling in. As always, thank you for putting on that great work out there. We're going to finish up and then get back out to the callers. Remember the number 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time if you want to voice your opinion here on the Voice of the People hotline. This is your show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Obviously, helps with the visibility of the show. Legendary Boxer. I'm going to go to Skype. Don't you worry about it, buddy. Let's see what we got here. We need to talk about.
Shout out to Rox D on the super chat.
Rox D?
Yeah. Thanks for letting us fans call in and give us a platform to vent and express our feelings on the sport, even for not blocking like some chumps out here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. We appreciate every super chat. That $6 is going to go to purchasing some new mics. We're going to make sure we get some new mics around here so that Matt stops saying that there's an echo every 5 seconds. So for the new year, we'll be having, well, probably before the new year, but we'll be having, probably not. But definitely for the new year, we'll be having some new mics. Shout out to Enrique Church getting the ball rolling with his little fancy schmancy microphone. Comes on here one time.
Cash mash.
And sets a precedent and shit. Hasn't been back since. So, okay, Lucky Boy. We never finished it up. What could I say? Moved up to 54. He was at 47. At 47, he had fought some good names, but he came up short. Some of those fights were tight. Let's just be honest. You know, if you watched him versus Vargas, I don't know. He had a couple of tight fights. He says he moved up because he couldn't get any fights at welterweight. I don't know how true that is. He went up to see Freddie Hernandez at 54, who's been used at 54, you know, in the past, but he's also been knocked out in one round by Berto at welterweight. But Lucky Boy gets the win. Nothing special. Still very, like, he's never going to be technically sound, it looks like. He's not going to get better. He's just going to win the fights on grinding out his man, either will or determination. It's not going to be like all of a sudden one day he's putting the 1-2 together and, you know, he's keeping his hands up. It's not going to be that. But he did get the win at 54. I don't even know what the, like, where does he go because of his style? Like, he was falling in, you know, like, again, he just outgrinded Freddie.
I have no comment on that fight because I didn't see it.
Neither did I, Matty.
I did not catch
that fight. No, I did not catch that.
All right, well, I'll keep going down the line. Jamal James, Diego Chavez.
Wow.
Diego, unfortunate for Diego, but this is the way the cookie crumbles. This is the fight game. You know what I'm saying? We've been wanting him back for so long, but this is what we're talking about. Inactivity. Everybody is in Floyd Mayweather. In our opening intro, you know, Mayweather himself says it. Everybody wants what Mayweather wants, but You don't work as hard as Mayweather. And you can't just take off as long as Mayweather and think you're going to come back. And let me tell you, credit to Diego Chavez. Hopefully PBC gives him another comeback because he was in there fighting. He was in there fighting. But wasn't it a body shot that put him down again? I mean, this dude is softer to the body than Jello fucking pudding, okay? I don't know what's going on. And look, can you train the body to absorb shots better? I'm not necessarily sure because he was in shape at the weigh-in. You know, he almost didn't look like himself. And fight night, he was energetic. He was bringing the fight to Jamal James. And I'm happy to see Jamal James get that win, man. We spoke about, you know, how we've been covering him. And that gym, I think it's something Circle of something it's called, like something like that. It's like almost a religious name is their gym out in Minnesota. But credit to them and Caleb Truax because in the UK, Caleb Truax was out there obviously for the Daniel Gale fight. He bumps in James Gale fight. He bumps into our, because it's not about James DeGale. It's more about Caleb Truax and TBV. He bumps into our correspondent in the UK. Shout out to TBV, we international. And right away, he's like, oh, what's up? Yeah, shout out to Uli and everything. And he put it together, the correlation, obviously, that we had our Minnesota guy and, you know, whatever. So we've been covering these guys for a while. And Jamal James, you know, he made it yesterday. He did what he had to do. He suffered a loss. It's good to see a young prospect be able to come back. He's still not using his attributes the way I would like to see him used. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see him stand up tall. I want to see him use that jab. And he looks like he's going to be the type of guy that wants to fight because he wants to be on the inside, dig into the body, it looks like. I don't know, but he got the win. He got a nice body shot. Did you see this one, Matt, or are you too bougie for this?
I saw it.
Oh, so you're a game chaser.
Yeah, and plus, you know, I like Diego Chavez. I've always liked watching Diego Chavez fights. And Jamal James, I really thought highly at one point that he was a red hot prospect. I thought he could do something.
Oh, you still using words like was even after he stopped your man?
Because you at least pointed out the layoff, the inactivity against top competition with Diego Chavez. That is obviously some concern. But I have to say it was impressive. I mean, like you said, I still wish he would use his attributes a little more. He's not using his height and reach like he should, but at that height, at that weight division, you know, he could be like he has the Tommy Hearn frame in that division. The fact that he's not using it is very frustrating. But he got a great body shot KO against Diego Chavez. Diego Chavez is a credible win still, in my opinion. I would still say Diego Chavez is arguably a top 15 welterweight. So, you know, kudos to Jamal James, big W. You know, the guys that have beat Diego Chavez are usually top welterweights. So now I would assume Jamal James is going to be catapulted into another big fight on TV. So I can't wait to see who he's matched up against next. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't catch this one also. Fellas.
Oh, let me get the guns. I'm going to shoot him up, dropping the ball. Yo, come on. I ain't gonna front, do me. It's a lot of pressure to try and watch all these fights. I get it.
I still don't got my calendar right. You know, my TV time right yet. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get it.
Well, the thing with PBC fights, what I liked about them, whenever this guy finishes with this long one, the thing that I like about them is they send you these emails, right? And if you click on the fight date, obviously on an iPhone, shout out to Steve Jobs. Your memory lives on forever. Your legacy, my friend. Even Bad Bunny is referencing Steve Jobs. He's like, you know, moldete la negra como una manzana de apple. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my Latinos. You know what I'm talking about. Bad Bunny, we made it, baby. He been doing songs with Nicki Minaj. I'm just saying, I'm always happy to see a Latino get so big. He got 7.6 mil on Instagram too, man. I'm just saying. Kids like 24 or 23, something like that. That's amazing. I'm just saying. Where we were at before we got into all this spiral?
Overtime spiral.
Overtime spiral. Little teasers. Where we at, man?
I forgot, to be honest.
We were talking about the Chavez.
Is everything okay? Hold on. Everything okay, Matt? You seem so down today. You want to leave it for overtime, or you good?
I'm good.
What's going on?
You sure ain't no fuck shit going on?
It's that Star Wars shit that he's ready to talk about.
You know what, Matt? Yo, Matt, I like you, B. I went and watched the other Star Wars. It came out in 2015. Was that the one I should have been watching?
What was the name of that one? Was that Force Awakens?
God, I don't know. But R2-D2 was basically dead the whole movie till the end.
Yeah. That was the first one back in the new.
I had to rewind that shit like 4 times just because life gets in the way. I just kept, but I said I'm gonna watch it so that eventually I can get to the next one.
You went Harrison Ford?
Yeah, she was in there. Harrison Ford, he was in there.
Wow.
Talk about this on overtime, but I'm glad we're there. All right, so there was something I want. Okay. John Molina Jr. Gotta give him his credit because listen, if Molina gets in the ring and he loses, we're talking about retirement. Oh, you know, why they still letting this guy fight? Blah 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 blah. So when he gets in the ring, and he's always gonna be who he is as well. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be no different than Lucky Boy. He's coming in hands down. He's got one mission. He believes in his power, and it's to knock you out. So, you know, that's what he's trying to do. So credit to Ivan Redchak, who did a good job of outboxing Molina. But this has been the story of Molina's life. Anybody's that's been following him for so long, or his career entirely, this is what he does. He comes from behind. He's always getting outboxed. I mean, Hank Lundy did it early in his career on ESPN Friday Night Fights. Oh, my God. That doesn't even exist anymore. In a few years from now, I could really, like, say, oh, my God, Friday Night Fights. Like, wow, I feel old because some of you won't even know about Friday Night Fights. But the point is, he did it to Lundy there, or Lundy did it to him, and then, boom, in the 10th round, Molina starches Lundy. One-punch banger. Mickey Bay. Later in the future, I believe on HBO or Showtime, he's doing it to Molina. Mickey Bay, you know, he's from Cleveland. You know, he signed to Mayweather. He's doing so good in front of that Las Vegas crowd. He's looking good. He fucking turns around and goes like that. And I'm in the podcast, so he salutes for all my people not watching on the video, because if you're on here on YouTube with us, you should be hitting the thumbs up. So he salutes Doomsday to Mayweather. And no, John Molina didn't just, bam, catch him on a salute, but that was enough for him to catch up to him, and then he eventually knocked him out, and he came back from behind. And look, we seen him get starched by Crawford and Broner, but this level,
starched,
you know, this C and C plus, and maybe even B minus on certain days, Molina's gonna take care of you. If you can't handle that Molina pressure, you're Dunsky. Go ahead.
Durable too.
Super chat. JD from Texas, a longtime caller, sent a $5 super chat. So thank you. Goes to all the new mics, and he said, "Implement caller of the day at the end of the show."
Caller of the day. Oh, I guess he's got something great to say, and he wants to make sure we pat him on the back for it. I don't know.
You don't talk about Jacobs. Come on, we know that.
Why?
Because he's Jacobs' #1 fanboy. We know that.
Didn't Jacobs call out Saunders already? I tried to find it. I heard it was like he called him out on Instagram, but I didn't even see it on his own Instagram. So I was like, that's rude. You know?
I assume he called him out because I saw everywhere that was saying that he was calling him out.
I mean, call outs these days. I mean, if you're not Canelo, like, you got to be somebody. Like, look, even Horn coming off the Pacquiao fight, like, yeah, I want to fight Errol Spence. Like, stop lying. Nobody believes you.
I think I actually believe him, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he'll fight.
Well, his trainer just said today he's pleading with Horn to forget about Crawford and fight Anthony Mundine instead. That's the headline. 4 years old, I think. Matt, can you at least check that so they don't say I'm a liar like you? Because
I saw that.
I don't want to be known as a liar like you, because the other day someone was 33 or 32 and you said they were 37 and they ripped you in the comments. I'm just saying, I don't know if you know, FYI.
By the way, people, I don't know if you knew this, but we don't have Wikipedia and BoxRec open 100% all the time, and we kind of come up with stuff off the top of our head.
No, I don't. He lies.
That's a negative.
Do that. We do that. It's a talk show, so we just talk.
No, that's a negative.
So I'm sorry you guys little anal, you know, YouTube chatters that are still in your mom's basements. Okay. You know.
You guys ticked Matt off.
Oh, they triggered Matt. Trigger. Trigger, Matt.
Stepped on the landmine.
Andy Lee is 37 or 34 means no difference for the show and what we're talking about.
Whoa. It means a world of difference when you try to implicate that one person is old by saying he's 37 and adding 3 or 4 years. Yes, that means
that's 5 actually.
People are calling fucking Triple G old at 34, so we can move on.
I know we can.
Still applies.
Listen, let's get out to the callers. That's what we need to do. Let's open up the phone lines. Let's let people eat their crow.
We didn't get through any of the other topics other than the fights this weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say AJ and Povetkin was like.
We didn't talk about AJ Povetkin. We didn't talk about Garcia keeping his belt even if he loses. Unlike Guillermo Rigon.
Barely talked about the Manny.
I thought we said all that. I thought those were just like reports. I mean, there's still more fights to talk about actually because after Molina fought.
You don't want to talk about Povetkin AJ? I thought you want to talk about that.
I mean, I thought we did by saying like, yo, he got a win over somebody you don't need to know about, and he's now his mandatory, which is odd.
But where are they fighting though? Where are they fighting?
No, it's not happening. Nothing. This means nothing yet. He's just in line. That's it.
Okay.
Means nothing. But go ahead, Matt. Obviously,
again, if you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. I just.
Oh, whoa. Who am I? I've never been a dictator. Go ahead. I thought enough was said, but go ahead. I mean, enlighten us.
What you said when Doomy made his first opening remarks that you wanted to talk about AJ Povetkin. So I'm just making sure.
Oh yeah, something in reference to the Deontay Wilder.
I mean,
like me reminding you when you forget stuff.
You're right. Listen, if you want me to rant, because that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like, why does the WBA continuously try to mandate fucking Anthony Joshua to fight someone when they don't mandate any other super champion? They pick and choose what they do. They strip Rigon down and they force, Joshua to fight so they can forcefully get a percentage of, his purse from the sanctioning fee. So it's just like, these guys, I don't know, man. Something needs to be done. You know what I mean? Because what is the WBA doing well? Like, you guys talk so much shit about the WBC, but at least they implemented VADA. There's plenty of rules that we use in boxing every single day that were started from the WBC. Weigh-in, 30-day weigh-ins, next day before weigh-ins, plenty of fucking things, bro. Not to mention the fighters favor their belt more, yet, no one talks shit about the WBA who just randomly dubs whatever the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it's like, yo, Luis Ortiz is suspended and we're consolidating, but we're going to pick and choose which one of those we actually do. So we will suspend Luis because we want to, I don't even know why they did it, right? Maybe they was right morally or whatever the case may be, but dude, they just pick and choose what they do, man. Where was the consolidation of these belts that they claimed almost 6-7 months ago now? You know what I mean? Every fucking division has 3 WBA belts. You got a regular, you got a super champion and an intercontinental. It's just, it's ridiculous at this point. Really is. I seen an article or a tweet or something, someone talking about, we gotta stop. Someone sent it to me actually because I'm an IBO defender, and I do it semi to piss people off, and at the same time, some of the fighters that I respect are fucking paying the sanctioning fee and rocking the belt. Who the fuck am I to tell them that they belt is whack when they could probably beat the shit out of me? You know what I'm saying? So like, but everyone's just like, oh, let's get rid of the IBO because this is just another sanctioning body and another way that unifications won't happen. And you know what? He's right. But if we're going to get rid of motherfuckers, let's start thinking about getting rid of the WBA, who hasn't done anything that they said that they would do. Like, how long does it take to consolidate? And why do they pick and choose which super champion defends? Like, so why wasn't Keith Thurman mandated to fight Lamont Peterson? He had to drop his title to get a real title shot. I mean, it's just crazy. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
politics and boxing fucking suck ass. Shit's whack.
I think a lot of fans shit on the WBA. I don't know about the media, and I don't know who you're referring to when you say they don't talk about the WBA, but I think the fans do hate on them.
I don't see the fans talk about the WBA, and I don't see articles about the WBA.
The fans shit on all sanctioning bodies. You have to remember that. That's not just individually to the WBA. Fans, I would say generally the media as well, kind of just don't like the sanctioning bodies. Like we know what we got. Like, we've had them for 40 years now. Some of them for 20 years, some of them for 30, but some of them for 40, 50 years now. We know what they are. Like, it's a smoke and mirror operation. Like, we just know. Like, we don't need to keep shitting on them and to keep hating on them.
But it's not. I don't think it's necessarily true that they're, you know, to lump them in and say we know what they are means all. And I don't see it that way. I don't. You know, I don't. Damn.
That they operate arbitrarily all the time. That they are allowed to do that unilaterally, and there is zero real regulation.
I just think that some are more blatantly either A, corrupt, or B, biased than others. And that
may be true. Hold on. That may
be should draw the line and like it's so obvious.
But Ness, you said the word. I think if you said apparent, I forget what word you said exactly, but blatantly. There are some blatantly do it. Absolutely. But not all of them are blatantly do it, but all of them do it. All of them do the same thing as that the WBA does or the WBC do. Or what any of them do, they all do the same thing. Like I think that when you say blatantly, yes,
I think they all do the same thing. You look. One thing that I see the WBO, because we're talking about so many. Be clear, I'm not talking about WBA now. I see the WBO do that I don't see anyone else do is that their continued alliance to Top Rank. Like, it's almost impossible for there to be a champion with a WBO belt not a Top Rank fighter. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't see the WBC only get Heyman fighters belts. That shit don't work like that. At one point, I ain't gonna front, I thought the WBC was very biased with Mexican fighters when it was like the Canelo Chavez thing early in their career, when it was so close to them being able to fight. Like, they made sure no matter what, those two guys had belts. I'm not gonna front.
Yes.
But damn, they don't do it in every fucking division. Make sure that a Mexican has a title the way the WBO makes sure is that Bob Arum's champions have a belt. You know what I mean? It's weird, bro. I just wish we could take the best out of all of them.
But then you have the WBC with every one of their belts. Their super belt, the money belt, the diamond belt, you know, like you
yeah, but that's different. Those are trophies though, Matt. Let's be honest and let me explain.
Do they not pay sanctioning fees for that?
Let's be honest and let me explain. You've never seen the WBC, you know, make anyone defend an Intercontinental belt, make them defend any of those belts, a silver belt. You never see
European belt.
They simply allow the fighter to live the dream. Let's just be honest. If you want to be gullible, like, you know who's a victim of that? Vanez Monteroshian, poor guy. When he was signed to Top Rank, bro, he had, like, I swear to you, could Google this shit, maybe 4 WBC eliminators. He was waiting for that Canelo Alvarez shot at 54 all his life. Not 54. Well, probably 54. I don't know. You got to look it up. Whatever he was with Top Rank in that time. And the point is, he never got it. But he rocked that silver belt everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, but they don't make that. You never see like, oh, he's defending the silver belt. No, it's only one WBC champion. And the, you know, they do their politics. Again, I'm not defending them because, you know, we seen they take the belt from Martinez, give him emeritus status, but give it to Chavez, and it's still just one belt. You know, they did that because, you know, Chavez didn't want to. Let's be honest, too. The WBC, at least, and the IBF, they make shit happen. The reason they took it from Sergio was to give it to Chavez so that Chavez was forced to mandate, because the other way around, it wouldn't work. You know,
we all know that for a casual fan or for anyone that's really not in tune for what is the sanctioning bodies, they don't know. The IBO belt, the WBA, WBO, silver belt, diamond belt, a WBA regular belt, it's all the same, and that's why they don't matter anymore. That's why the sanctioning bodies get so little respect from the fans, I would say. And that's why I would say that the fans are almost like beaten down at this point. Like, we have seen so much corruption and just bullshit from the sanctioning bodies that it's hard to always get outraged by every single thing they do. To be honest, it's very hard at this point because we just know what we have, and there's little it seems that we can do to change it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Twitter is powerful, I say. You know,
agreed.
Social media, they're scrubbing the internet. Your voice will be heard if you voice it. We're gonna get to the call.
We got ring.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, with social media, now being such a powerful tool, and especially in the sport, the fans could actually have a big influence nowadays.
I agree totally. Listen, we're gonna get out to the callers. Give me a second here. Before we do that, I want to obviously give you the phone number 142-556-952-41. Press 1 time, and don't forget that this show is supported by AM, and that sounds bad. AMCreditRepair.com. Remember, you get 100% satisfaction. You only pay if they do not do what they promise, and you already know. You save if you use the promo code ThaBoxingVoice. Like I've said numerous times, I've even posted it on my Facebook now. For those that are my friends on Facebook, you can see I posted my own personal credit score, gave my story. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, I'm a client. I trust them, and that's why we struck this deal, because I believe that they can help plenty of people the way that they helped me in like 30 days or less, bro. It's just that simple. And if you're a Patreon, you know how true it is, because I get into more detail there, and I'm discussing, more personal life things on my vlogs that, reference AM and stuff in my life. So remember, the number to call if you want to call in and speak to a live operator instead of using their website is 1-718-820-8580. Remember to use the promo code ThaBoxingVoice to save yourself a couple of dollars. Tell them Ness sent you, but remember to say The Boxing Voice. And you could also head on over to their website, which is 100% mobile compatible, and sign up there as well. AMCreditRepair.com. Let's go out to our ringer, KM Star. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. How you guys doing? So I love the show today. I got to say, I called in expecting to talk about the fight, but I like the actual journalistic aspect of what you guys are discussing. I think that we don't really raise enough noise about what the WBA is doing. We already know there's too many, belts, too many organizations, and now we got that issue compounded all within one single organization. Never mind the fact there's like 5 sanctioning bodies. I think we definitely need to make more noise about that. I mean, it's really great that you bring that point up. I was at a friend's house yesterday who decided to cut HBO because he's trying to save money. So, of course, I had to get back home and then tune in to the Billy Joe Saunders fight, and I did catch the actual main event and the fight right before. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? But literally, Lemieux looked like Matt said it, a rank amateur. He looked like he could not do a damn thing all night. And Billy Joe Saunders danced around him and just boxed beautifully. Even Letterman, who's usually just, sometimes, you don't really agree with the way he scores fights because it's all about who's walking forward, and that's all there is to it. And, I mean, this was just a display of supreme, literal boxing skill. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this. And I agree. I mean, like, who really is going to want to fight this guy? Very few. There's a handful, and you guys already covered who the right matches would be against him and who should really kind of stay clear of him. Not because they can't win, but if they win, it won't be pretty. You know what I mean? Like, Canelo could win, but it'll look like a lotto fight for him, where everybody says, oh, he got a gift or it was just too close, et cetera, et cetera. Great, great, great fight. I'm actually really, really pleasantly surprised by the guy. He actually backed his mouth up. That's kudos to him. And I'll finish by saying, Lemieux, dude, if you fucking lose, say I lost. Don't look like a damn idiot talking about if that guy ran all night. He ran through your ass is what he did. He peppered your face all night. He freaking hurt you more than once. Shut the fuck up. Say you lost the fight. And that's all there is to it. And I'm a guy who usually is behind you. I like his fighting. Really needs a man who can't move, and it's just...
Talked about his hand,
that's
too.
my call.
Well, KM Star, as always, thank you for calling in. Great call. Definitely provoked a little bit of conversation there because I'm going to jump all over it, but I also want to send you a personal shout out for being a patron. And, you know, if we don't speak again, which I'm sure we will since we're showaholics over here. But happy holidays, my friend. He said cut HBO. That one of his friends had to cut HBO because he's trying to save money. And, man, I don't know if this is an overtime topic or a current topic since it is boxing. I could think of 100 other ways, even though I can't. But if I had to, I could think of 100 other ways to save money than cutting HBO, which is only $10. And that's with on demand.
But you have to remember, if you're a person, let's say he's not a big boxing fan, he really doesn't watch HBO for that much content. You only maybe watch it for, let's say, Game of Thrones or something. I mean, you can watch that online in other ways. You don't need to pay $10.
No, but that's the thing.
I'm honest. I can watch everything on HBO on my computer without having an HBO subscription.
What, from like a torrent site?
But you can. You just can. I'm just saying.
But I mean, what fucking grown up is on torrent sites, Matt? Like that's some college shit. No, that's some college kid shit. Like I'm in a dorm, I'm saving money. Like it's shit is tight. I can't afford HBO. I'm on a torrent. I'm on a stream. But like a grown up has fucking HBO. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like sound like you know, I don't know, fucking
my generation and people that are a little bit older than me. Because remember, you are 39.
Oh, he's lying on the age now. I'm gonna fuck him up. Yo, I have you know that Joseph Parker's cousin said I was 28. All right.
Yo, who else?
Till I die.
Wait a minute.
Keep laughing at you.
Wait a minute. Hey, Matt.
Said I was 28.
Yo, Matt, we were at the car dealer, Matt, and the guy said the same thing. Yo, Ness lit up like, hey.
So they were gassing.
You know no, Matt. You know what it was? Obviously, the car that I was, you know, looking into was like a young man's car. You know, because it's such a cheap car. It's like usually college kids are buying that shit. He thought I was a 28-year-old, you know, med student or something. I don't know. It could have been the haircut. It was fresh that day. Stop hating, Matt. You're always hating. Your life is like hate. We got to change that hat from Triple G to just HHH. People think Triple H. Yeah, people are gonna think it's Hunter, but it's really hey. And change his intro. Dollar DiBiase, I need a new intro with the Michael Myers behind it. It's like introducing the hipster hunter.
So bad. That is so bad. But we're in the cord cutting age. Like you know that, regardless of
but that's my point. I'm not cutting the HBO cord. Listen, let me tell you how much content. There's too much content.
True, man. Games of Thrones alone is a reason to have HBO.
First of all, other than stars, and you really got to be like balling to have HBO and stars, right? But like other than stars, and HBO is the first one to get all the movies. So if you're a guy that doesn't go to the movies because you want to save money, and I'm using air quotes, HBO gets those releases first for free. So if you just got the subscription, you get to see whatever was in the movie maybe last month is now, you know, coming out on Saturday at 9 o'clock on HBO. You know what I'm saying?
All my friends are 25 to 26 to 27 years old. They all have those jailbroke Fire Sticks on their TV. And they can watch everything from the movies in HD.
Yo, why is Matt acting like 25-year-olds run the world and shit? All my friends that are 25.
Let me finish. They don't want cable anymore. People my age don't have DirecTV subscriptions. They don't have.
But Matt, where are these 25s living? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You're in a dorm at 25. You ain't living nowhere to have cable.
Talking about 25, you're in a dorm.
Where's that 25-year-old kid?
Go to college at 18, homie.
Where's he at?
He's working. He's in an apartment with a couple roommates, probably.
Oh, man. Yeah. Shoot me if I'm ever one of those motherfuckers that's living with multiple people in the house and we still can't get cable? We still can't all chip in and get cable.
You don't need it. I'm saying you don't need it.
So we all get Fire Sticks.
I think what Matt's trying to say that due to the fact that those Fire Sticks and all that other type Roku and all this internet stuff.
Let me interrupt you, but hold on. Ness is the type of guy that he loves the high-end stuff. He wants the high-end, nicest thing. He wants Apple. He wants the best product, you know, and the most efficient thing. The most efficient thing is a Fire Stick that's jailbroke where I can watch on the movies. Yeah, that's the most efficient thing.
Yeah, efficiently shitty quality. Shout out to all my 25 and olders. Don't go with the stick of death. You know, Fire fucking Stick is like, yo, imagine TBV on Fire Stick. It'd be like that. That was it right there. You heard that pause? That's what it was. Because it's always fucking glitchy as shit.
No, it's not.
Oh, there's no buffering now, huh, Matt?
Dude, my friends have it.
So there's no buffering. Answer the question, yes or no.
If a movie is released, then yes. But let's say it's 3-4 weeks out from a movie, there's no buffering. You know, I get HD 1080p.
You just get that silhouette of the dude crossing the.
No, you don't get that.
Getting the fucking popcorn and shit.
You get a raw HD file of it. It's not a camcorder.
Well, Matt, next time you come over, bring your fucking Fire Stick, Mr. 25-year-old Fire Stick having. Let's see. Why don't you fucking save me some money? Come over. He's come over here plenty of time. He sleeps here. He don't bring no fucking save money Fire Stick.
Yo, I myself is the entertainment, man. You don't need anything.
You bring yourself as the entertainment. I know next time you come, I'm bringing a fucking hat that has Triple H's on it. We're going out to the UK. They staying up late. They rocking out with us. So we're gonna go out to a person we haven't heard from in a while. Let's see if I didn't get rid of his introduction to make room for newer guys. No. Alumni. See? I like you, kid.
Remember me? I'm Stuart Little. I'm Stuart Little.
What's happening, Nestor?
What's up, Stuart? Long time no speak. But
yeah, I've been
like,
a busy man.
Yeah, I know. Like tradition, if any good UK fighter wins, I mean, you got to hear from Stuart.
Well, you know, it's Nestor. I thought I'd ring in our chat. I was missing you, isn't it? That's a couple of European masterclasses. I thought I'd ring in and, you know, talk about it. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. For 3 years, I've been telling you that Rigo was fish food. It wasn't even a competitive fight. You've been hyping this guy up to be something he never was. The talented, the beast, the jawbreaker. That, you know, the only thing Rigo broke was his fucking hand. That's the only thing he broke, mate. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to give cry on that one because it was an easy pick. I'm telling you guys for years, this guy is overhyped. Now you'll finally understand. But we'll move on to last night's card because I really enjoyed the card. I mean, the Hebrew Hammer is probably the worst fighter I've ever seen in the boxing ring, and that includes Mickey Rourke. You know, this guy was absolutely fucking shocking. It's like they pulled him out of the archive videos and stuck him in the ring from the 20s. He come with his hideous style, terrible fighter. I mean, I don't know what's more embarrassing, this guy's boxing ability or the fact that he's beat 20 people. 20 people have lost to this guy, 17 being KO. So, you know, fucking comedy gold, man. Comedy gold. I just didn't know what I was seeing. I thought, is this a fucking joke or something? It was like watching the Primo Canera from the fucking 30s. But I want to get on to a topic that's quite close to my heart. And obviously fighters getting hurt. And we see a fighter last night in Anton Douglas who has a lot of ability. He has athletic. He's athletic. He has the skills. He has the footwork. But he's got a terrible team around him. And this is what happens when you don't have the right team around him. I don't care if he does Shakur Stevenson, whoever. He is a terrible coach because he let his fighter go in there with a game plan to get beat up by a slugger. Now, this guy had the ability to box rings round O'Sullivan, but he stood in the pocket and traded with a guy who is a big puncher, a strong guy. This is a lot of the arrogance we get from a lot of fighters that don't know much about boxing. They don't know these European fighters. They just class him as Euro bum. So he's coming over, I'm just going to beat this guy up and look good doing it. And then they realise that they have to come with a game plan. These guys are not bums. These guys are tough dudes. And if you don't come with your A game, you get knocked the fuck out like he did. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. I mean, he needs someone that's going to forget about trying to impress people, forget about trying to go to war and look good for HBO. He needs to get a style where he's defensive and he's going to pick boring points wins for now because his health is at risk. I mean, is that my call done?
That is your call done, my friend. But you can stick around and listen. We're going out to Scorsese.
Yo, you can hear me?
We always can hear you.
Oh, yeah, man. Look, Matt, I want to know. Y'all know who Bunk Gang, Whole Lot of Gang shit is? Y'all know that dude?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, well, this is what I want you to do. When these people call in to ask for crow, I want you to bone gang, whole lot of gang shit they crow, because they be listening to you, and you need to be held responsible for their shit. You need to steal that crow and eat it. Because I'm tired of people being influenced by your weak ass picks. Your he can punch. He's the big puncher. You HBO
week. What other picks have been weak?
HBO in the flesh.
What other picks have been weak?
It repeatedly goes on that, Matt. I don't have to continue. You repeatedly do this. Do what? But I'm gonna get you for now. Just do me that. Get that sound. That's the sound bite you need. Bump gang, whole lot of gang shit. Every next when you hear ow, ow, that's the next sound bite that comes after that, man. But anyway, Billy Joe Saunders, as I said before, now Matt want to jump on the bandwagon. Yes, he can beat Canelo. Yes, he can beat Gennady Golovkin. He just need to quit being a dickhead and go about doing. Oh, there you go. There you go with his big curtain call. There you go. There you go.
What picks have been bad? What other than this Lemieux pick? What picks have been bad?
Man, now I want to get back to his pick. Matt, just start following my lead. That's all I can tell you. Just start following my lead.
I'm not going to pick Adonis Stevens.
Why are you look? You boat gang in my car, right? See, I told you, boat gang, no lot of gang shit.
Don't be triggered, Snowflake. It's okay. It's okay, Snowflake.
Boat gang,
you don't want to debate here. You just want to talk about my credibility.
No, I don't. Look, I'm gonna tell you what a good friend of mine said before. I only debate my equals. Okay. The rest.
Shout out to Adonis Stevenson.
Yeah, Adonis. Oh, Matt, another thing. You're complaining about the WBA and the WB this, but you shit on Lenny or Titleist. So I don't get. You can't complain about it and aim around it. You got Puerto Rican down here, lineal champion, having to go up 2 weight divisions, get fights and whatever. Adonis Stevenson, lineal champion. He's offered everybody that you want him to fight, and y'all still find a way to hate on it. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez is the only lineal champion that seems to get respect, and he's the one that, hey, he can make every fight. He has the power to make every fight, and he chooses to fight the Kirklands of the world at times and things of that nature. So, you know what I mean? You can't complain, oh, WB this, WB that. And then next thing you know, a guy wins. He beats the number 1 guy, holds the belt that was the belt before there were belts. And now stop it. That's why I support him. And Matt, one more thing before I go, I guess, because I don't know how much time I got. You won't gang me a little bit. You said I was picking against Stevenson when he got in his first real fight. I have you know that Badu Jack is my number 3 pound for pound. And I'm one of the only ones that used to call in here before the success and tell you, yo, Badu Jack is becoming a real deal. So therefore, I got fair reign in this one. Bone gang, whole lot of gang shit. Scorsese out. Do your thing, Matt. Still all that you can.
It's okay.
Jason Shaw.
Now you picked up for years and years. You're gonna lose. It's okay, man.
What's going on, guys? It's been a long time.
That it has, my friend. How are you? So, are you legendary boxer, or do you just have a groupie?
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Legendary boxer. My other account died. That's me.
Okay.
How you guys been?
We are good, man. We're.
What's going on with fucking BJ Saunders puts on this fucking average ass performance, and now he's all of a sudden a master class performer.
Average?
How was that?
It was average because I thought it was average because fucking Lemieux looked like a fucking soccer dad in there. Did you see how fat he looked in the fucking back room when he was getting warmed up? Like he was wearing those shorts like high as fuck because he was hiding his belly, and he looked.
I mean, I noticed that he had a little bit of a little bit of excess fat, but it wasn't that serious.
So I'm only saying average because when Mayweather does it, they're like, oh, it was boring. It was just another, boring Mayweather performance. And he doesn't. He's way more offensive than Billy Joe Saunders. Like if you look at the punch stats, he throws more punches. So I don't like that double standard especially from guys like Dan Raphael and the fucking sporting icons that are like matchroom groupies, or UK
groupies. Also the best boxer in the last 30 years. So even though casual fans call him boring, we say he's the best boxer in the last 30 years. So regardless of that style, you can still say it's.
I know we say it, but guys like Steve Kim, Dougie Fisher, they're giving credit to BGS. They would never give credit to Mayweather like this. That's all I'm saying. And another thing, they've been saying Wilder's not a star. That's why nobody wants to fight him. I wanted to point this out. He came from all the way from Alabama and sold 11,000 tickets in Brooklyn. And Matchroom, #1 promoter in the world, did a show with Danny Jacobs, and they sold like 5,000 tickets. So that's what I wanted to point out. So that's one thing. And Eddie Hearn also lied after that fight and said Wilder's only sold like 5,000 tickets, which was a lie. And this week he got caught with another lie. He said James DeGale didn't have like a rematch clause. And PBC had to put out a statement and said he does have a rematch clause. He can fight him anytime he wants. So he's always lying about about Heyman and them. You can already tell that's what his agenda is. Always lie about Heyman. That's it. Why do you guys think that is?
I mean, why wouldn't he? You know, he's got, like you said, an agenda.
But when you guys are in front of him, nobody calls him out on it. Like even your guy that interviews everybody in New York, he's just going along with it. He's like, Eddie Hearn is like sitting with all the promoters. He's saying Wilder can't even sell 5,000 tickets when he sold fucking 11K tickets in Brooklyn.
No, because everybody is in Matt or Ness who, you know, are going to challenge. I mean, Adam Sperber, you hearing Jason Shaw call you out on your journalistic integrity?
And
why allow Eddie
like
Hearn to lie in front of you?
PBC fight stole the show. Last week it was El Bialy versus Pascal. That was the best fight of the week. This week it was Molina versus Red Catch. That was the best fight of the week.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Fights. Really quick. Oh, fuck. You know, your time's up, but I need you to really quick tell me, what are you using to gauge best fight of the week? Is it just action?
Yeah, because that's what Jim Lampley does, right? The Gaddy list. That's what I'm going with now. Gaddy list.
Oh man,
you got it.
No,
Gaddy
I hear you.
List.
I hear you. I hear you.
Gaddy
I hear
list.
you.
That's what he loves.
You're like me. You're upset that HBO spews propaganda and casual fans fall for it. I get you.
Because think about it. If Al Bialy versus Pascal and Molina versus Red Catch were on HBO, they would be shining that fucking turd all day long.
No, it would be Ward Gotti. They would do a trilogy.
Exactly.
Shit.
Thanks,
Listen.
guys. Good night.
Thank you, my friend. Glad to see you still calling in and being a long-time listener. Truly appreciate it. Shout out really quick to Alex Williams, who just signed up to Patreon. Really appreciate that. Shout out to you. And I'm going to be mailing out all those Patreon shirts. My girlfriend says she's going to be doing the labels tonight. So, well, I can't give them to you now, babe. But she will be doing it. Once the labels are done, I'll pop them in the post office. And everybody, shout out to Eric Cruz. Upgraded his pledge, so he's going to get Eric. Let me know. You know, you got my number. Let me know if you want me to mail that or bring it to you personally on Border Wars. I don't know if you want to wear it before then. Let's go back out to the UK. Did you have something, man? I could have sworn I heard like. Did you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say two things.
Dose
about Adam and just overall about asking questions in interviews. It's very common to forget specific figures of gates and viewership.
It is.
Interview. It is very common. So I know it's upsetting if you're a viewer and you're watching it at home and you're like, I know he didn't sell 5,000, but put yourself in the mind of an interviewer. You're there in front of Eddie Hearn or whoever is promoting it, and they're just talking, and you're just putting a mic in front of their face, trying to get some good quotes, trying to do your job. You may not think about it as much, just to be honest.
But shout out to Jason. That's what we need. Call us out. It's not really calling us out. It's a pickup. That's what I like to call it. It's a pickup. Remind us to do certain things. And also shout out to you because not only are you on the chat debating, you call in and, you know, it's kind of like putting a voice to the face or a face to the voice, even though we don't really have the face, but it's better. It's something other than, you know, just being one of those chatters in the chat that really doesn't come voice your opinion on the show, because that's what the number's for. Remember, 1-425-569-5241. Some people are listening to this on their commute. They can't chat. So they want to hear. They don't want to read your response. They want to hear your response. Call into the show. Use Skype. Matt, you were saying something?
Yeah, use Skype at Nestor Gibbs if you're an international caller. It's absolutely free. And also, remember that promoters will lie. Every promoter's job is, in a sense, to lie and persuade the public to follow their agenda.
I mean, when you're a promoter, it's not a lie. Like, it's not even called lying. It's called promoting.
Yeah, it's called promoting. There you go. Like, exactly. It's a lie for the fans or the viewers. It may be a lie, but it's their job in a sense. I know it's upsetting, but that's just their job, and it's our job to question their lies and question their agenda.
All right, back out to the UK. Let's go to Alexander Bully.
Yo, what's going on, people? Just to touch on Matt's point, it's definitely true, because I remember when Eddie Hearn, when you guys were the ones that broke that David Haye was injured for the Bellew fight, and like a day later on IFL TV, Eddie Hearn was like, nah, I just spoke to his people, blah, 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 the fight's still on. And then obviously a week later, they said the fight was off. So yeah, promoters stay lying, B. But yeah, so good job on the journalism for you guys. But another thing is just to touch on the 3 fights. Like, I want to speak about my man Ulysses Jr. because him and Billy Joe put on a boxing clinic, and it goes back to, for me, I love pugilism. When you hit, you don't get hit. Good footwork, fighting on the back foot. Yeah, I do love it when 2 people go together like Gatti and they start beating the shit out of each other. But when you can really stylistically break down an opponent without getting hit, taking too much damage, utilizing the jab, the way Ulysses Jr. utilized the shoulder roll, great footwork from the both of them. For me, that's the type of boxing that I like to see. And just to touch on, again, the war between Anton Douglas and Gary Spike O'Sullivan. One thing about Douglas is, from round 1, he was loading up on his punches. You could hear every single punch. He was putting so much power into it. And anyone that's done a bit of sparring will understand that. Like, literally, when someone starts hitting real heavy from the onset, you just wait a bit, and you could see as the rounds go, he kept still hitting as hard, but the power was going, the cardio was going. He's getting more and more tired, and he was right for the beatdown that Spike O'Sullivan gave him. So, yeah, he definitely needs a new team, but you can't put all of your power into all of your punches just from the get-go, because you can't sustain that for so long, and he found that out in the 7th round. But, yeah, Billy Joe Saunders looking good, looking real strong. Would love to see him fight GGG. I don't think it's going to happen, but on his day, like Tyson Fury said for the commentary over the UK, he said this guy can beat anyone if he gets up. Like, he beat Eubanks, and everybody thought Eubanks was going to lose. He beat the brakes off Andy Lee, and maybe he'll outbox Canelo just like Mayweather did, and he'll outbox GGG just like Daniel Jacobs did. I'm calling it right now. Either of them will get that work, and that's me.
Mr. Bully, thank you as always for being part of the show, brother. Staying up late with TBV and rocking out with us, helping us continue to be a #1 international boxing show by adding your UK call. Let's head on out to New York City, tri-state area. You know, we heavy on the East Coast, man. We need to grow that LA brand. Where are all my Southern California guys, Northern California, Sal and Matt, man? Where's your presence out there? Let's go out to...
I'm here. What are you talking about?
I know. You need to bring more California presence. Let's go out to Queens.
Hold up, son. Word. Yeah. To all the killers and the 100, I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers.
Yeah, man. Yo, it goes to show, man, that power don't mean nothing in boxing. Especially if you can't cut the ring off and you got to plant your feet every time you throw a punch, man. Sanders was killing him, man, last night. Beating breaks off him. Every man made him look stupid in front of his whole town. Now he's calling up Golovkin and Canelo, but I don't know if Canelo will take that fight, because Canelo had problems with boxers too. Canelo had problems with boxers. I don't know if he don't want that work, but also Canelo gonna throw punches, but Canelo got better though since the Mayweather fight, so I don't know. If one thing about Canelo, he's gonna throw punches though. Like, you don't have to plant his feet to throw a punch. So, you know, I don't know how that's gonna play out. And now Jacob calling him out. So I don't know how that's gonna play out. So yeah, and I want my crow, man. I want it burnt though, because I'm so disgusted in that fight, man. That fight was disgusting, man. So give it to me burnt crisp, man.
Yeah, we got you on the list.
Yeah, man, that's my call, man.
All right. Hey, damn. Yo. So Alexander Bully didn't pick the Doomsday? None of those guys that called in?
Yeah, no, Alexander Bully, I don't got him in here.
What about Scorsese?
Scorsese, I got him in here. He picked Billy Joe Saunders, so he was on the money.
Okay.
He was on the money.
He was on the money with me. That's what's up. Shout out to Scorsese. Let's see here. We got Sonny in the UK.
What's up, bro? Why you mute me? What's up, bro? What's going on, guys? What's up, man? Yo, can you hear me?
What up, brother? Yeah, I think Matt is
Look, hey, what's Matt got me on mute for?
You're not on mute, brother.
No, you're not on mute.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, yesterday I tried to get through, but I couldn't get through, man. So anyway, everybody seems surprised and shocked that Billy Joe Saunders just put on a masterclass, because if you watch our podcast that day, we had everybody saying Lemieux's going to do this, Lemieux's going to do some body punches, he's going to knock him out. And then when I started the role by saying, no, I don't think that's going to happen. You remember that, Matt? I was the first one to say I think Billy Joe Saunders wins on the back foot. And now it seems like Billy Joe Saunders like Mayweather and everybody's shocked. But anyway, I feel that only Canelo's the fight for Billy Joe for money. But Jermell Charlo is actually the answer for that weight. I don't think nobody beats him. He's like Bruce Lee with those punches. And Tyson Fury, bro, he's got to be the 2018 champion. But Gibbs, did you choose Billy Joe Saunders to win?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Me and Ness did. Matt actually chose David Lemieux.
I told you I'm gonna. Since
Matt was on the fence, right?
No, Matt wasn't on the fence. He picked Lemieux.
Yeah, he picked Lemieux.
Yeah, he picked Lemieux, right?
Yeah.
Yep. He said that he would finish him before the 9th.
Yeah. Billy Joe Saunders even beat that guy, Gary O'Sullivan, in the park. The guy who put a show on before the Lemieux fight. But I just think that the big fight for Billy Joe should be Canelo for money. I don't know if the rest of them bring enough money to the picture yet. Jermell Charlo, I don't know what he's doing. He's just an amazing fighter, but they should get a better platform for him. And I remember the other podcast I missed. Who said Jesse Vargas called out Errol Spence? I just want to touch that nerve. He needs to stay away from the truth. That's one serious dude. I've even been to the R&R boxing gym. I've came over there a few times, and I've met Spence. He is the truth. People want to stay away from that dude. He is going to take over boxing. That's what I'm saying. So if anybody wants to prove me wrong, let's go. That's all I got to say for now. But thanks for the show, guys.
Sonny, thank you for calling in. Great call as always. Shout out to you making it all the way over there to Earl Spence's gym. Let's go out to Gary in Dallas, Texas. What's going on, Gary?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Yeah, I've been saying since before the Monroe fight that Billy Joe Saunders might be the best middleweight in the world. And they're not going to fight him. You think Canelo's going to get in the ring with him? As slow as Canelo is, flat-footed as he is, Billy Joe Saunders would dominate Canelo. And Triple G said he wanted to unify. Billy Joe Saunders agreed to fight him in Kazakhstan or whatever, Uzbekistan, wherever Triple G is from. And then Triple G didn't want to take that fight. It's like war. They're not going to fight him. Because the money's not there, and they can't beat him. You know what I'm saying? So Billy Joe Saunders isn't going to get a big money fight. The only one that might fight him is Jacobs. And you think Eddie Hearn's eager to throw Jacobs in the ring with him right now? I'm asking you. Throw Jacobs in the ring?
I didn't know you were looking for a response. Would Eddie Hearn throw in there with Billy Joe? I mean, I think at this point it's not Eddie Hearn. I mean, they're going to give Jacobs a few offers, but those offers are going to be the names that they have, which are Billy Joe, Demetrius Andrade, and who knows? Maybe that's it, right? I mean, who else are they going to put?
Andrade, because Andrade, he still looks small for a middleweight. I mean, you look at the size of Jacobs and Golovkin and Billy Joe. Andrade's a lot smaller than those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't really belong at 60. He belongs at 54. I mean, but they didn't want to fight him at 54. So Andrade's got to move up to 60. And I heard Laura's going to move up to 62. So, I mean, maybe those guys would fight him, but they're all under. You're right. Andrade with HBO. Yeah, so that would be a fight. Jacobs would fight Andrade. I mean, if you're Eddie Hearn, who would you rather have Jacobs fight, Andrade or Billy Joe?
But Billy Joe also has a belt.
And Andrade's a southpaw, man. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's rushing to fight Andre. They're both southpaws, so it doesn't even matter.
Saunders would be probably a bigger money fight. It's for a belt.
And it's an international one at least. If Jacobs decides to go over there, it gets HBO exposure, happens over there.
I don't see Jacobs or Eddie Hearn being cautious of a Billy Joe Saunders fight.
Yeah, I mean Jacobs called out Saunders.
You're a Billy Joe hater.
No, but Jacobs called out Saunders last night, so he wants to prove.
How are we a Billy Joe hater, or I am a Billy Joe hater?
You picked David Lemieux to beat him.
That doesn't mean I hate the dude.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he hates the dude, Gary. Oh, Gary, that you got the bell, baby. Punch it after.
The same. Like I can pick somebody to lose a fight. That doesn't mean I am a hater of them. I picked Rigondeaux to lose against Loma, but we were invited down to his camp. Rigondeaux follows me on all my social media, and we've DM'd each other. Like it's like I don't understand that mentality, and there's a lot of fans that have that mentality, and you guys need to correct that.
Larry in San Francisco.
Hey, big up to the Boxing Voice. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm over here trying to cook some salmon and listen. Let me jump off. Okay. Hey, appreciate the show as always, fellas. Hey, so a couple of things. Billy Joe Saunders already was a top middleweight. He put on an excellent performance last night. Looked great. Everything y'all been saying about him is true. But however, it's the same level of overreaction that we had to Lomachenko beating Rigondeaux. Lomachenko was already a top pound-for-pound fighter before he whooped Rigondeaux. We knew he was going to rip Rigondeaux because he had every advantage in the book over him, and he's ill. So you don't get higher on the list for winning fights you're supposed to win. And I say the same thing for Billy Joe Saunders. He was the number 3 middleweight to me before last night, and he's still that now. Could he beat Canelo? Could he beat Triple G? I don't think so, but that's still possible. But that was possible for him. Nothing changed. He whooped David Lemieux, and that's that. Secondly, LOL on all this Daniel Jacobs and Jamal Charlo getting a shot next. First of all, Billy Joe Saunders has a title, and save Triple G, he has the best resume at the middleweight division. Daniel Jacobs is not getting a fight next. Billy Joe Saunders is going to fight Canelo, Triple G, or somebody like Spike O'Sullivan next, waiting for that big shot. He's done too much already, proved everything he's got to prove already, and has a belt. The other cats have no leverage to make him fight them. I don't see that happening. Daniel Jacobs, Jamal Charlo, and Andrade need to fight each other to get to that level to fight those guys. They don't get to come in and fight those guys. And my boy, Sean Zattel, love him, on point most of the time. But how did Jamal Charlo whoop J-Rock and then Sebastian Hyland, and all of a sudden he's the man at middleweight? Man, get in there, put in that work like these other cats did, get them big wins at 160, then we'll see you in them fights. Lastly, I want y'all to make sure you tune in to TBV this coming Saturday for a year-end special show that I have an opportunity to host with the guys through the on-demand feature. It's going to be hot. It's going to talk about the most impressive wins and performances of the year. Hope to see y'all there. And I'm out.
Larry, as always, thanks for calling in. And shout out to Larry promoting his on-demand show. That was intelligent. I should have thought of that. So I will, Larry. Piggybacking off of Larry. Larry chose to purchase an on-demand show, and obviously, by doing it on demand, he has the ability to pick and choose and make the show to his preference. So that's why we will be doing it. He said a year-end review, right, Matt?
Yes, year-end review of the top 10 best performances of the year, I believe.
Ooh.
Not top 10.
You're not Cameron, friend.
Yeah, we don't care about your avatar without a shirt on.
We don't want to see you.
I didn't want people seeing me sneeze.
I didn't.
I was about to
Marcus
sneeze.
and C.
As we would say, my man Larry in San Francisco, hey, let me get a salmon fish sandwich, please. Yo, check this out, man. I made a bad call, man. I picked on my dislike of a fighter instead of going with my mantra of what I know. A good boxer beats the shit out of a brawler. David Lemieux is a brawler. Billy Joe Saunders is a pure boxer. I'm going to take my quote for that. I let my dislike for Billy Joe. I put mumbo sauce on the DC. Yo, check this out. I let my dislike for Billy Joe Saunders make that call. David Lemieux is what he is, man. He's a brawler. He'll knock out anytime an end fighter fights a brawler, the brawler wins. Anytime an end fighter fights a boxer, the end fighter gives the boxer hell. Anytime a boxer fights a brawler, they beat the shit out of the brawler. This guy, man, he got a funny little thing, man. You ever notice when he throw a hook or his jab, it's like his wrist is pronated. He's never completely straight when he throws his punch. It looks really weird. And it's like when he throws his hook, it's like he's throwing with his wrist cocked and cocked down. It looks really weird. But for everybody who's upset about people not picking against Billy Joe Saunders and all this other stuff, he put up lackluster performances, man. I mean, he put up lackluster performances. He put himself in a self-done hiatus, not taking fights, talking shit about taking fights, shooting videos from fucking trailers with a goddamn belt over him like he was Ric Flair or something. Like we talking about the WWE belt with a big stomach. People doubt him because he wasn't fucking fighting. And when he came back and fight, he fought a dude in like the YMCA and shit and looked bad. So that's why people picked against him. He looked bad. Now that guy last night, Billy Joe Saunders, looks like a guy who will give a lot of people problems if he's highly conditioned. He obviously has great movement. He's a southpaw. He uses both hands. But like previous caller said, I don't know if that necessarily translates to him beating Triple G. I mean, nobody thinks that David Lemieux is a world beater. We just one of the top middleweights. As far as Jamal Charlo and those other guys, I agree in a certain degree that they can't just demand that they're next in line for Billy Joe because he is a champion. But the fact of the matter is that Billy Joe came over here to fight in the U.S. for a reason, and he's not a pay-per-view household name here. So if he wanted to be a pay-per-view household name here to demand a fight against a Triple G or Canelo, outside of them just wanting his belt and them seeing it being lucrative, he should fight an American fighter who is considered one of the top middleweights who is dangerous, unless his only way to have that fight, which I don't know if he has the leverage for, is to have the fight put on in the UK. If that's the case, he doesn't even need to come to Canada to take this fight against David Lemieux. So let's not confuse the two. Billy Joe Saunders is a household name in the UK, but not here. So he may need to fight a Charlo. He may need to fight a Daniel Jacobs. I don't think he does anything with Gary O'Sullivan. But good fight, took my crow. And Antoine Douglas need a new team. I'm down here. I could have told y'all that in the beginning. But appreciate everything. Boxing Voice, man. DC in the building. I'm out.
Marcus, as always, appreciate the call. Appreciate you participating in the show and taking that crow like a man. Shout out to Doomsday, Matt, for not being able to tell us one caller who deserves.
Oh, no, is it? No, you don't understand. Marcus is on the list too, but I'm letting it play to see if everybody's honest. He's on the list.
Oh, so you checking the list?
Yeah, I'm checking it. Marcus is on there. He was honest. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna catch the one that's lying.
No, you're not. Excuse as to why
Matt always doubts you, bro.
This is the guy I'm worried about right here.
I can't read that.
I can read it.
Oh, I can.
That's the guy.
He was on the line, then he dropped off, man. I think he's fucking.
Yeah.
All right, let's head on out to this. He's become my favorite part of the show.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up, let's make this official. Everybody, let's agree with it.
Damn, I mean,
dropping the ball or he getting it in again. That's what he normally do. Whenever he drop the ball, he busy.
Nah, fellas.
No, we hear you. We hear you. I mean,
listen, y'all got a lot of nerve talking about y'all want to know if I'm gonna take my crow like a G. I always take my crow like a G. Alex, you said you worried about me, bro?
Hey, man, I ain't say no names. All I'm doing is I'm like Santa Claus right now. I'm checking it twice.
See, I'm a better listener when I got my dick in the holster. But let me get to my call, man. Yo, listen. Last night, that fight, we have to have a different opinion of Chris Eubank Jr. Because Chris Eubank Jr. had a very good fight with Billy Joe, and some of us dismissed it and say, well, you know, it's Billy Joe Saunders. We got to have a different opinion of Chris Eubank. Even though he's up at 168 now, I think we got to show him a little more respect for that fight he had with Saunders. That's
your mic's hot. Your mic's hot, Ness. Come on. Sorry, I mean for his amateur in your call.
It's all good. No, it's all good. Number two,
Rob,
I'm watching that fight.
Matt wants to so desperately rub it in. Look, he's throwing up middle fingers right here. This guy is a jerk. My bad. I mean, we're gonna give you more time because of that.
Serve that crow for y'all. Tell me I ain't. Nah, it's all good. Serve me my crow for y'all. Tell me I ain't take my shit like a G.
Give him an extra serving.
There you go. There you go. But look, I'm watching that fight yesterday, and it reminded me of Jacobs and Triple G in that you had this boxer. Remember, Jacobs turned southpaw in that fight. So it reminded me of when Jacobs was turning southpaw and just picking and popping Triple G's head back, and we're watching it like, oh, shit, he really is putting in work on him. So based on that, I mean, and I'm not comparing skill sets. I'm just comparing the style of the fight, the flow of it, where you had a boxer that was outboxing this big puncher. So based on that, I'd love to see Daniel Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders fight. I think that's a very good matchup coming up if it happens. Next thing I wanted to say was that just to go off a little bit, if Danny's going to fight Brandon Rios, and he don't take a big fight after that, he's definitely a cherry picker. And I fuck with DSG. He got to knock that bullshit off, man. Vargas looked good. I'm with fucking Marcus from DC. Shout out to Marcus. Yo, Antoine Douglas definitely need a new team, man. But back to Billy Joe, man. I think Billy Joe, I highly underestimated that cat, man. I didn't know that he had that foot movement like that. He was moving off that back foot, throwing that jab out, getting real cocky with it. So Saunders and Jacobs, that's the next fight. And I'm punching after the bell like Darrell. That's my call.
Oh, that was on point. Shout out to Amin. Thanks for calling in, my friend. Let's see what we got here. Matt, any ringers?
Info Joe.
Info Joe. See, if I don't ask Matt, Joe, you in line. This guy's dropping the ball all types of ways.
Mr. Info Joe.
Tell the truth, Joe. Tell the truth.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Tell the truth, Joe. Tell the truth.
LA's finest is in the building. Yo, Ness, you right, man. I mean, got the dopest intro. That shit takes me back to some real hip hop shit right there. Shout out to you, I mean. Yo, give me my 2 servings of crow, man, for Antoine Douglas and Lemieux, bro. Hey, man, shout out. Shout out to Saunders, man. I slept on him. He woke me up, man. I think he will be very competitive with any of the top 5. Not saying he wins, but he has a good 50-50 chance shot with most of them, I would say. I think it would be, I would like to see him and Jacobs next. Or if not, I would like to see throw Andrade in the hat, man, see what happens. Or Charlo. But as far as Antoine Douglas, man, I feel so bad for that cat, man. Roy Jones called the fight so on point about him, man. I don't know why. It seemed like he could have boxed if he wanted to, but what was it? Alexander Bully was saying he was throwing every shot hard, and you can tell it took a toll on him and wore him down. The first fight and the last fight, they were like the same fight. The guy Ulysses, beautiful boxing, man. I'm a fan of that kid. I love that slick ass shit, man. And it's the same thing Saunders did with the Lemieux fight. Shout out to Jamal James, man. That was a good win. And that's it, fellas. Shout out to everybody, all the listeners, all the callers, everybody in the chat. TBV is where it's at. Hit those thumbs up. Peace.
Joe. Make sure you start marinating that meat early. You know what I'm saying? Get that barbecue going early. Yo, is it bad to marinate this early?
I think so.
Carne asada might be too rocking. Start
Too rocking.
Early, it might be crazy.
There's no such thing as too rocking carne asada.
Let's you know what, you can start them on early, that curing process. Ha ha. 815-674. You're up.
First time caller.
Yeah, first time. Let me get my intro.
Oh, first time.
OG.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Yo, this is Big Juan from Streeter, Illinois.
Big Juan, what up?
Yeah, I'm calling. What up, man? I wasn't a big fan of Saunders. He did impress me boxing Lemieux. I like Lemieux's style. I still want to see Lemieux fight, but I'm not ready for Canelo Triple G next. I need them to put that off, and one of them need to come at Saunders and let that Canelo Triple G, marinate a little bit. And I just want to get your thoughts on it, Ness, on what you think about holding off on Triple G Canelo.
I mean, if you're Canelo, that's
What's
probably.
your thoughts on that, Ness?
I mean, if you're Canelo, I mean, you might want to do that, and you rather go straight into it, because the last thing you want to do is let someone else get that glory. I think if a Jacobs or a Jamal Charlo get in there, they probably could, like another caller said it, that this 2018 might be the year Triple G falls. And, if you're Canelo, you want it to be you. You don't want it to be an Andrade that got a shot because you were too busy making money fighting someone else, letting the fight marinate, and Andrade came in with a southpaw style and somehow beat Triple G. You know what I mean? And now Triple G's going to rematch him. And they end up having a trilogy, and you're out. I don't know. I mean,
and Triple G is a money fight.
Yeah, Triple G represents money now with all those pay-per-views.
It's the biggest fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. I'm thinking they need to wait. They need to wait a little bit. Hopefully they don't lose when they go off, if they do wait. But I think they need to wait, and I think Triple G needs to come get that belt from Saunders, and then go ahead and do the huge mega fight with Canelo. And that's
why is it
having me on
a fight after beating Saunders if it's not just an immediate rematch? Is it still not a mega fight?
What's that?
Is it still not a mega fight if they just have an immediate?
It's a mega fight right now. It's a mega fight right now, but if and belts don't really mean that much nowadays. But if Triple G pick up that Saunders belt, it could be humongous, bigger purse for both of them, in my opinion. If they hold off and don't lose.
Well, bigger purse for Golovkin. He definitely will have a more of a negotiation, and it's a more of a negotiation tool to have all four belts.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think. Plus, I just want to see Triple G get on Saunders, so that boy can jump off his high horse. Because he's a good fighter, and he impressed me last night. But I'm just not a big fan. They need to promote him more over here. I'm just not a big fan. And that's my call. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Big Juan.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in. We got Suleiman the Scholar, New York City. Where you at?
How you doing this? I don't know, but after that performance, I mean, he it's like a double standard. Lomachenko fought the southpaw style. He fought a smaller fighter, and he's getting all this he's getting all this fame, right?
Who did you pick, Suleiman?
Just as good. I always liked the Billy Joe Saunders. He did fantastic.
No. Between Lomachenko and Rigondeaux, who did you pick?
I picked Lomachenko. It was obvious. And then the guy Rigondeaux is a dirty fighter. If you look at the fight again and again, you're gonna see the tactics that Rigondeaux was doing. Rigondeaux was grabbing his hands. He created an injury. If he did have that injury, he created himself, because he was fouling Lomachenko all through the fight.
I noticed the head grabs. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt Nick, but I noticed it.
He was going low. He was going low. But this kid here, to me, he's probably just as talented as Lomachenko, even better. And they're not giving him no fame. Everybody's ducking him. Nobody wants to fight him. And he should be in the pound for pound list. I don't see why Billy Joe Saunders is not in the pound for pound list. You know? And
what the fuck? Whoa. Yo. Slow down. Take a breath, bro. What are you talking about? Billy Joe on a pound for pound. What's wrong with you? What are you talking about?
Yeah, why can't he be in the pound for pound list?
No, I'm asking you to explain. Just explain.
Okay,
but I need you to calm down. Listen. You gotta calm down because your phone isn't the best. So when you raise your voice, it really cracks.
Okay, he beat a fighter. He beat a fighter that was undefeated, that was European, in front of a lot of fans. Okay, and everybody was because he came out fast. He beat Eubank, which is knocking about everybody with his bolo uppercuts. He beat him, right? He beat Andy Lee, dropped Andy Lee twice, and took his belt. Okay, he still has that belt today, right? He has a southpaw style that's very good, right? He's not getting the fame. He's not getting the fame. He should be in the pound for pound list. Everybody talking about the guys.
Let me just interrupt here. Let me just give you a little debate here. You haven't mentioned anything that he's done that merits pound for pound. In order to get into pound for pound,
what do you mean?
Wait a minute. Okay. In order to be pound for pound, the obvious way in is to beat a pound for pound fighter. Chris Eubank Jr. isn't pound for pound. Neither is Andy fucking Lee, who's been knocked out by numerous guys on the level. Let's just not let you forget, because you've forgotten that Brian Vera knocked out Andy Lee before Billy Joe Saunders. He knocked him out. Okay? So
that's before he became
David Lemieux, excuse me, David Lemieux lost 3 times, and 2 of those losses were to guys on the level of Brian Vera, Marco Antonio Rubio, and Josine Alcine. So like, you can't just be pound for pound. Hold on a minute. Hold on. You can't be pound for pound just because you got a southpaw style. That's not even a criteria.
Okay.
The best guy in the
You just said something, right? You said something. Okay, now Lomachenko. Who Lomachenko beat? Lomachenko beat Orlando Salido, multiple losses. He's considered a club fighter. People watch him fight and say the guy's a club fighter. He doesn't have the titles he achieved is incredible because his abilities. Okay. He beat Walters, who quit on the stool. Okay. All Walters beat a 122 pounder and moved up the weight, and they gave him a title fight against him. Okay, he beat another 122 pounder and moved up
126.
And this is the guy that has a great on his resume, and everybody says he's a great fighter. But you guys have a different standard, man.
Hold on. No. Now it's my turn to debate.
No. You're wrong.
Let's debate, man. Let's debate.
Suleiman, very quickly. Those guys were not 122 pounders. Nicholas Walters was at 126. Gary Russell Jr. was at 126. Those fights were at 126.
Who Nicholas Walter beat? Nicholas Walter beat Nonito Diner, 122 pounder. He beat a small Filipino guy that
Nicholas Walters is at 122 pounds.
130 pounds. Yeah, he moves up to 132 pounds. He overate the belt. He moves to 150 pounds and then quits against this guy. But he's a pound for pound.
Yo, my friend. Yo, you can't say he quits. And so all of a sudden, it's not good because he quit. No, the fucking guy made him quit. And anyway, listen, you punched after the bell. It's past 3 minutes. I hope you got. Yo, you got a lot. We even debated with you. You did a good job today, Suleiman. Great call. Thank you for calling in. We're going out to the 619-288. I mean, he definitely provoked some conversation.
Those were stupid. Period.
Oh, he has some good points.
Yeah, what do you mean stupid?
To say that Toledo, Walters, and
yo, you're breaking up bad over there. I mean, are you on Wi-Fi, my man? 619-288.
Yo, what up?
What up? You're live. First time caller?
This is Tony P.
Yeah. Well, I've called here once or twice before.
Okay, Tony.
Anyways, first of all, I'm gonna eat crow. For some reason, I thought Lemieux would be able to cut off and test BJ's too. With that being said, I'm watching HBO on demand, the Lampley game or whatever, the fight game. And I mean, even though cable is a little bit pricey, you know what? You can watch this whenever you want. Quality, no buffering. Because I have buddies who have the Amazon Fire Stick, and yeah, they watch everything for free, but then at the same time, you're frustrated while watching something that should be quote unquote live.
And Tony, how old are you, by the way? Because Matt's gonna make it an age
31.
thing. Oh, there you go. You're not 25.
Yeah, I'm 30. No.
You're not
25.
25, rooming with 5 guys, and there's a bunch of empty pizza boxes everywhere playing PlayStation. That's not you, bro.
No. me, my lady, and her daughter. Yeah. Pay rent.
Whoa, Tony.
Housing, nothing like that.
Tony.
My bad.
Yeah, no. Go ahead. Yeah, totally. That's cool.
Oh, no. I mean, and I think I take my fight, boxing serious is one of my few hobbies that I do have. So, I mean, why cheat yourself? Why don't you treat yourself? That's what I work for. So I'm not gonna cut around the edges, when it comes to boxing.
I agree.
Before I do past the 3 minutes, Loma, don't hate on Loma. He's still on the rise. It's something. It's a plant that's still being watered. Let it flourish. You know what I mean? Let him branch out. Let him go find a weight class where he's really going to be tested. And if he's bulldozing through these lighter weight classes, hey, don't hate. You know what I mean? He's dominating, and he's going to get to a weight class where power is going to be more of a threat, and he's going to, guard his chin a little bit more. And if he's boxing freely against fighters like Regal, because, the first round gave him enough to say he's going to run circles over him, and that's that. It's an Aaron project. Let Top Rank and Bob Arum work their magic. And that's all.
All right. It's Tony, right?
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling in. There you go, Matt. Matt, why are you acting like you sleep? Because you didn't like that.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh wow, there is something wrong with that. Wow, is that gonna mean no overtime for us?
I have no.
Oh.
I'm gonna call you Echo the Dolphin.
Don't stop.
D D E F G H I J K L M N O P.
You know what? It's like a moped. So you gotta pedal a little bit, and then there's gonna be a cutout, and then it's thick.
It's this YouTube that sort of. No, it's not. It's just I think this microphone sucks. I think
it's got to be the mic. Don't worry about it. You'll get your new one in a few days. We'll Amazon Prime it to my Matt, the hipster hunter over here, and we'll be back in action. We got another caller in the UK, Big K from the UK. A lot of K's to say in one day. Big K, UK all day.
Hello.
We hear you.
What's going on, man? I'd just like to say, man, Billy Joe Saunders, man, I'm proud of him, innit, man, coming from the UK, and I'm glad he's starting to get the recognition that he deserves, man. This guy's just gone over to Canada, defended his title. There's a lot of other fights he could have took. On top of that, it's just he ain't been getting the recognition, innit, man? It's he beat you.
90 seconds.
Hello?
Yeah, don't worry. That's just our own UK correspondent letting us know we got 90 on the live feed on phone calls on Blog Talk.
Okay, yeah. No, he beat Eubanks, and it's when he beat Eubanks, his name just keeps growing and growing and growing, man. And he even said the other day, someone mentioned him in an interview about a rematch, and he said, Billy Joe Saunders ain't even on my radar. I'm doing bigger things. But he's not.
Whoa.
60 seconds.
Yo, to say that Eubanks isn't doing bigger things, I mean, if he's not doing bigger, he's at least doing on the same level, B. He's in the World Boxing Super Series, and he's about to unify with George Groves as the final fight in the series. Come on. That's an understatement for sure.
Yeah, he's doing big things, but I mean, as in how he found himself in that position, he didn't really work for it.
It's a tournament.
That's not fair. Why are boxing fans so fucking mean? How the fuck is it? No. Wait a minute. All right, maybe in your opinion, you're no. Let me speak. Maybe in your opinion, you're not being mean, but think about what you're saying. Say it out loud one more time. A 160-pounder who took a loss early in his career decides to move up to a bigger division, fights an unknown guy for an unrecognized belt, put some fucking respect on that belt and on his own name, joins a fucking tournament, and is now probably favored to win, and he ain't doing nothing? Man, you motherfuckers better get out the house, get out there, and put some road work in yourselves, because you guys have high standards.
So you think he's going to win the tournament?
George Groves has never been good, in my opinion. I always liked the way he looked because he felt like a white guy that had a black gene in him. You know, he's so athletic. He had soul, but he always got punched in the face. And Eubank punches too much. He punches too much. He throws hundreds of punches. Hundreds. How many times
have you seen Eubank punch someone with a one punch and they're knocked out?
He don't gotta knock you out. He throws hundreds of punches all round. He's gonna George Groves
160 and a 168. I think maybe once I've seen him pop someone and they drop.
All right, but what about that dude Rabisi, bro? Rabisi's never been on the level of Groves, and Groves let him get there. People could talk about, he didn't get up for that fight. No, that was just a night where we got to see one of the true versions of Groves. Yes, he could come fully 100% in shape for a Chris Eubank.
Well. That was a little while ago as well.
Yeah, he's got his times where he doesn't look good. And even when he looks good, like in the Carl Froch fight, both times he looked so good. I picked him twice. Even after he got knocked out, I still said no. Groves, technically, skill for skill is better than Carl. But instead, he let his fucking heart get in the way. He got knocked out twice. Now,
Groves is better than Froch.
Yeah, that's what I thought, man. I thought that because in terms of skill, because the guy was so smooth. Like, he looked. The way he fights was the way that Canelo fought versus Triple G, almost. Like, obviously, Canelo looked way better doing it. But, Groves used to fight like that. It was like, to me, I guess it was impressive. I guess to me, it was impressive to see a white guy move that way and be aggressive, too. He was aggressive. But he was mentally ill. Not ill, that's a bad word. He was mentally... He struggled because how many times did he switch fucking trainers? He had like 6 trainers, bro. Like, this dude, I don't know, man. Exactly. We'll see. And the younger, fresher, listen, the younger, fresher, more determined, and definitely more of a, I don't know. He's hungry, man. He's like, he means business. It's you,
been in there with anyone on the level of George Groves?
Obviously, he's been in there with fucking Billy Joe Saunders, who's defended his title multiple times, just put on an
168.
Oh, look at Matt rolling his eyes.
No, not at you, Ness. At the caller.
Oh, why?
Why?
Because Billy Joe Saunders is the undefeated champion. Like, we haven't seen him lose. We've seen George Groves lose.
No, but that's the thing, Big K. You got to give Eubank more credit for that loss now, because Billy Joe went on from that win.
They're both the same age, and they fought at a younger time in their career. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but he was no. But you got to see what you see. What you seen is this: you seen 2 fighters get in early, but they both look at where they're both at in their career. That means they're both good.
They
both were good. Because Eubank could have lost to Billy Joe and continued to spiral down. No, they're both at the top of their divisions. But listen, Big K, all day you did get way more than 3 minutes because you made a thought-provoking call. That's what we want here. Voice your opinion and make us fucking debate. I love it. Listen, I'm all psyched up, but we're gonna get up out of here early because it's time for some overtime. So if you want to join us, head on over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice for episode number 32 of Overtime. Matt, where we talk what tonight?
Everything. We have this unknown topic that Ness wants to bring up. I think it's a home improvement thing. So I added in.
I sent them a listing to a kitchen faucet. His automatic response was, this is a home improvement thing. But is it home improvement?
DIY. That's what it is.
It's not DIY either.
No.
I'm way
stop eating
off
with
the reservation. I'm way off the reservation with this one.
It's not food, man. It's a piece of gum. Sorry.
But listen, man. One of the the last biggest fight weekend we just had. Shout out to Billy Joe Saunders once again for closing the year strong. I don't think there's anything big, Matt. You could look up in the sky and come back with some.
I just don't think that was grammatically correct. I think it's the last big weekend, not the last biggest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
That's all. But we do have some hipster fights. You know, New Year's Eve is always huge in Japan. There's multiple title fights. You're gonna have to find a stream. And that's his favorite thing to watch them if you're in the U.S. or the UK. I'm assuming.
Fire sticks.
Yeah, Fire Stick. Hashtag Fire Stick. Those 25-year-olds who are outsmarting you 39-year-olds.
Oh, word.
Oh, snap. Nestor, you go on with your final points? Final thoughts?
Final thoughts, just, shout out to Billy Joe. Closing the year strong with a nice performance, dominant performance. And not really shout out to Lemieux, but like shedding a little light on Lemieux's what do you call it?
Flaws?
No, it was like a sore sport, man, at the end, saying that it wasn't what Billy Joe did and instead it was what he did. And shout out to Jesse Vargas. We didn't really talk a lot about it. He put on a really good performance. I could go on the record, maybe even say great. I guess it would be not. I mean, people would probably argue because of the level of opposition, but that's one of the reasons that you can even, say that it was great because he looked so good in doing it. Shout out to Jesse. He had the mural of Rafael Garcia, the cut man that Mayweather used and that Jesse himself used. Little mural type of tribute on his shorts during the fight. But, I'm rambling a little bit on the Jesse thing because he looked so good. He was so tight, very behind the jab. He just boxed really well, really, really well. What else? I guess good thing for Mikey that you're so popular. They're not going to strip you even if you win or lose. Povetkin, I mean, whatever. Like, we'll see him, I guess, if he fights, whenever he fights. I would have liked it to have been Wilder, but looks like Povetkin doesn't want to bark up that WBC. I'm going to use Vada tree anymore. Instead, let's go to WBA. We do what we want every day way. I'm your host, Nestor. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NSGTL. Don't forget that we're going live on Overtime at ThaBoxingVoice.com/. No, that's all wrong. At Patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Peace.
And I'm Matt the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radio on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. And the new TBV podcast where I go solo dolo, hashtag Beyonce, the group, the Standing 8 Count, the Patreon only show. Go to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to see that as well. The second episode coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. It's a little bit delayed due to some family stuff, but hey, that happens. And final thoughts very quickly. Billy Joe Saunders, I mean, I think Larry from San Francisco said it right. He's a top 3 middleweight. Absolutely. But that doesn't make you pound for pound. Come on. I'm sorry. If you're not the best guy in your division, I can't rank in the top 10 pound for pound. I can't do that. Sorry. But I am Matt Hunter. You can find me at all those places I told you. Doomy, take it over.
Doomy Doom. And you can catch me on IG, Alex_Doomsday_Lainez, Lainez. Facebook, Alexander Lainez, and on Twitter, AlexTBV Lainez. And final thoughts on this. Well, as Matt well knows, me and Ness picked Billy Joe Saunders for this one. But you can't get them all right, Matt. And
I picked Rigo. I picked Loma.
That's what I'm saying. You can't pick them all. This is what we love about the sport. Anything can happen. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. But we love the sport. And yeah, catch us on OT.
Catch us on OT. Don't forget, you can hit the thumbs up button, future, present, past. Doesn't even matter if it's a couple of months or years from now. It's always good to share the show. Tell a friend to tell a friend. TBV's here. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's see, did we make it to the good old what did we want to get to? We wanted to get to 62K. Let's see. Oh, 200 away. What's up, Matt?
Very quickly, because you didn't let me finish what overtime was about. Very quickly. Home improvement. We're going to talk about net neutrality and its effects, and obviously our Star Wars review. Yes, Star Wars came out. I'm going to review it. That I know.
I was about to say, how could you be doing a Star Wars review alone?
Oh, I'm going to. I mean, don't worry. I'm going to body that review. Don't worry about it.
I don't even think you should be a spoiler. Like,
I didn't say I was going to spoil it. Whoa.
You're the only one that watched this. Like, whoa.
I was going to spoil it. Relax.
So mean, right? Doomy, did you go see it, Doomy?
I really like Star Wars, and I didn't go see it. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get the good seats.
It would have been nice if he at least told us, like, hey, guys, we should review Star Wars for overtime.
I told you that. No. Step back. We had this discussion on the air. I think on Thursday.
I thought you were going to go through the golden years of Star Wars. I don't know.
And hold up here, Doomy. And Ness was like, I don't watch Star Wars. I don't fuck with that shit. You said that on air. No, it's on air, I'm pretty sure. Somebody, please go back and find this and find the timestamp for me.
Anybody.
I'm not gonna do that work. I'm not gonna do that. But somebody should do it, please.
Somebody. Yo, listen, we want to just thank everyone from the bottom of our hearts. We're coming to the end of the year, and we've gained a lot of subscribers. We have a lot of new listeners, new callers, and we are very appreciative. I know that I am. And, just want to say thank you to all you guys and shout out to you. We hope to wake up tomorrow to that 62K, so make it happen. Do say.